Like, my diet hasn't been the best, I know, so easy way to solve this is it takes 1 or 2 days of just drinking plenty of fluids, eating healthy. Problem was, I had tonsillitis. So
You were eating
my
nothing but
tonsils were
ramen.
swollen. No, my tonsils were swollen, so I couldn't swallow anything. Because it's like the more you swallow or eat, like your tonsils are so swollen. Like what happens is like they're touching each other, and when you swallow, they like grind up against each other, and it hurts like a son of a gun.
Yeah.
So like when you have tonsillitis, like you usually have to get antibiotics or just don't eat. Like you just go fasting. Problem is, I can't do that because I need to eat healthy and drink fluids to fix my other issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like in a weird state where I was like, shoot, what the hell do I even do? I was in a lot of pain.
So much.
Because I couldn't go to the bathroom that well, and I was like, well, I don't know what to do. I was like, I can't eat. I'm supposed to eat, but I'm also not supposed to eat.
Nope.
Yeah, it's like it was like both ends of the tunnel were not working properly. You know, I was like, what the heck do I do? So took myself to the ER. I was there for a total of like a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
First day they just had me on IVs because I was so dehydrated from not eating or drinking for like a couple days, and then after I was hydrated, they're like, well, these are our options. We're gonna do some blood work on you and all that stuff. And I was like, go ahead. I'm like, it's all gonna come back like negative. Like they're testing me for literally everything. I'm just like, ask me all the the normal questions like, you sexually active? I'm like, nope. Like, when was the last time you had a girlfriend? I'm like, before this hospital was
one
even
of
born.
those?
What are those? Yeah, and all kinds of stuff. And they're just like making sure. Anyways, so then finally, this doctor comes in. Like, I saw her on the last day. She wasn't like the first doctor I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just like, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna give you some morphine. And I'm like, okay. She's like, yeah, because we're gonna send you home. So we're gonna give you some morphine, give you some antibiotics. They'll take care of your tonsil issue and then your other issue as well. I'm like, okay. And then like, we're also gonna give you a really large antibiotic injection. And I'm like, okay. And she goes, have you ever had an antibiotic like shot before? And I said, no. And she goes, okay, well, just so you know, not to scare you, it's gonna be a big syringe and a big needle, but it's gonna be such a high volume of a dosage that we can't give it to you through your arm. I'm like, okay, well, where do you do it? She's like, oh, we do it on the top of your butt cheek. And I'm like, okay.
And you were like, sign me up.
Oh, dude, have you ever seen like a World War I movie, World War II movie, where all the troops are, visiting the nurses and they're just getting them those big old cartoon-sized syringes? Like, that's pretty much what they had.
Those are real, yeah.
I was like, this is the biggest shot I've ever seen. And I mean, she got like 2-3 little bottles of whatever the antibiotic was and just build it up. And I was just like, holy moly. I thought it was gonna hurt. It didn't hurt at all. But I mean, it was in me for like probably a good 15-20 seconds, just because they can't just jam it down there. They have to send it out slowly. But it was like that one shot just fixed everything, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, what'd you guys put in that? Like, well, it's a.
Have you ever seen Captain America?
Yeah, pretty much, right.
Steve Rogers.
Dude, it was like they were like I wasn't talking like this like a day and a half ago, man. Like I could barely talk because my tonsils were so swollen. So like it was literally this huge.
Yeah, I was wondering why you weren't joining Discord.
I didn't. Dude, I threw my gax and everything. I just did not care. I was just I was so sick, man.
Do you know how many banners I had in the first 2 rounds?
0.
10.
Nice.
Dude, my first round, 12 mil.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck's the point? Second round, guy full cleared me. I maybe had 30 minutes because I was going on a hike today. So I did one attack. I got terrible RNG. Somehow he went first over my Mara Jade. Shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And I lost. So I said, hey, 10 to glory. And now this round, 10 mil every GL. Like, how are you 0-2?
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, cut you off. Through your gack.
So like the So the shot, and I'll go back to the shot. It's most of the story. I asked the nurse. I was like, "What was in that shot?" And she goes, "It's a high dosage of the antibiotic. I also put some extra morphine in there, and some lidocaine." And I was like, "Oh, lidocaine! Like I've heard about that in TV shows. Like I know what that does."
Mm-hmm.
Lidocaine's like a numbing agent, and but I didn't feel numb. But I don't know. But like, I don't know, man. She just made me like a cocktail of a shot, and like, I swear, man, within hours, I was like, I got home, I think like at 5 or 6 in the morning, right? Today, and dude, I was like, I wasn't wired or anything, but I was like, dude, like, I feel amazing after that shot. Like all my pain's gone, all the swelling is gone, the inflammation's gone. I was like, what the hell? Like why did they keep me there on like 2.5 days of like just IVs, and then, oh, here's our miracle shot. like just, I don't know. Craziest, fastest recovery I think I've ever had, because I've been dealing with this for like over a week, doing what my doctor told me to do, is like, get these antibiotics, take this, apply that, you know, don't work or anything. And I'm like, dude, it's getting worse. And then they're like, here, we'll just stick you with this. And I'm like, I was like, damn, crazy.
Getting a freaking ad, bro, on my PlayStation 5. Well, yeah, let me sign up for YouTube TV on my PlayStation 5.
Wait, why are you getting an ad on your PlayStation?
I'm watching a trailer for something in Minecraft. Oh, that's pretty dope. Sideways slabs, that's sick. $3 worth though. Dinner tonight was 60. Whew. But I had a nice week. It is what it is. I don't know about that.
Did you end up watching the podcast?
Yeah, I did. I bought a pizza, breadsticks, a drink, and then dessert for me, my buddy, and his girlfriend, because it was their anniversary. And it turned out to be 60 bones plus the, like, with the tip, you know.
That's not bad for 3 people.
No.
Dude, I had to duck out of camera when Castanix was grilling Sungita.
That's a funny way of saying your guild sucks. My guild is literally good, dude.
I know. I just think it's so funny because he's always talking about how it's not an important game mode. I'm like, bro, it is the gateway to R9. Ugh.
I don't know, man. It would be
super funny.
I would be remiss if you're spending over 20, you're doing dinner wrong. Agreed.
Depends. If you're spending over 20, it better be like, not like fast food $20. It better be like you're going somewhere where like the quality is there. You're paying for the quality.
Yeah, we were also paying for quality. Like, it was a really nice, authentic Italian joint.
Italian.
It's got 5 stars on TripAdvisor. Like, come on. What restaurant has 5 stars these days?
Take ones that just open.
This one's been open since 2006.
Damn.
It's that gangster. How we doing though, chat? Welcome to the Strum, back on the craft. Hanging out. Not even talking about Galaxy Heroes today. F that game right now, bro.
Why?
Just going through a little bit of a burnout in between. Like, anytime that I do these like 1 shard farms, bro, the last thing I want to do is get on the game. And unfortunately, that's kind of where I'm at with my account, is if I farm anything that's kind of like older and kind of phased out.
That's like, yeah, I need to make a video talking about that because like it, and like I hate to sound blunt and like an asshole, but I guess that's how I always sound. This new raid is not for you.
No.
This new raid is for endgame players and whales only.
Yeah, and can I give you, like, you can even talk about this in your video.
Yeah.
Essentially, where I'm at, I don't have my Imperial Troopers built up, right? They're all purple gear.
Sure.
Rather than upgrading just Moff Gideon, I can put the same exact amount of Kyrotech into Admiral Radis, complete the Radis team, and unlock Profundity. You know, and that's already like that's the what, second latest fleet that's came out. That's not even the newest toy. So like at the moment there's just only so much that you can build, and right now I'm just trying to build the stuff that is going to be end game. So like I'm in the process of farming Bo-Katan, farming Leia, farming Profundity, and I'm gearing up Jedi Cal, just because like what's Imperial Troopers gonna do for me other than be like a cleanup team right now, where rather than build them, I can build these cracked ass teams for about the same price, Kyrotech wise. And it's like, it's night and day, you know.
Yep.
I'll have Queen Amidala here in a few months. I'll have dickheads by then too. So it's just like you have to be smart, and I do think that the power creep is insanely active right now. With
I don't know about the power creep. I think they're just some of the flavors of the month right now are just very flavorful.
Yeah, that's probably a better way to put it.
Like, I wouldn't say there's a whole lot of power creep, because I mean, it depends on what your game you're talking about. If you're talking about specifically GSC, I think you're in 100%. I think people are 100% in control of GSC. You know, like you just gotta stop looking at the problem. Like one of the big things I tell myself, and not just, this is not just for like Galaxy Heroes. This is like a life. Like what I tell myself in life. If there's a problem I'm trying to solve, like maybe I can't solve that problem, but maybe there's a different problem I can solve that gives me the same answer or the same result I'm looking for. And I look at GSC like that quite a bit. It's like, well, crap, I can't beat Jabba with Night Sisters because, you know what, I don't have Night Sisters. But if I'm just trying to beat Jabba, well, maybe I can do that with something else, like Adrad, you know, 2-tap into a CLS. I mean, I'm still beating Jabba. That was the goal. I'm not playing for manners here. So I don't know. I think I think a lot of players need to think outside the box. I don't know. I think a lot of people just don't like to experiment and gack. TW, I think TW is actually a little bit more boring than GSC, actually.
Yeah, there's not much room. Yeah, I know from how you've explained it, there's really no room to experiment.
Nothing. There's nothing. You have less. Well, you have less teams in TW. You only have 8 teams.
Yeah.
Like that's it. In GAC, will always have more teams, and it's not that there's not room to experiment. It's just there are. TW has a lot of really good like you know what a staple is in like a video game, or like a like, you know, the term staple words. Yeah, I think TW has more staples than GAC.
Yeah, most definitely, because GAC usually it's even, I mean, especially nowadays, there really is no, oh yeah, I'm gonna set that on defense because it's a sick defense team. More so, normally things that are new get set on defense because no one knows how to counter them yet. And as soon as the counters for those come out, and it's like, oh shit, like you can counter Reva with Captain Rex. Well, we got to take Reva off of defense. But with TW, I've noticed that like every TW, it's the same placements, the same attack teams.
The only things that change is the Datacron. So it's like, but the thing is, we're getting the same level 3s. You look a lot at the level 3s in TW more than anything, for the most part. So when you see like a bulk team, bulk, what's that mean? Trench bulk is back. Dark Gideon bulk is back. Lord Vader bulk is back. You know what I mean? It's just like, there's certain Datacron metas where it's just like, oh, we use these staples now versus those staples. It's like, and TW is so set.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of it just comes down to like, and that's just coming from the top end where it's just like it's the same shit. Like, dude, there's times where literally both guilds are setting the same defense and almost the same exact placement. Where just like, it's quote unquote the best placement to use against each other. So it makes sense that both guilds actually use it against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that's at the end game.
And that's really the only place that there is a discussion. Just because it is such an old game that nothing else really matters besides the people at the end game level. I know a lot of the recent changes have been to help the early game, but you still have those.
There's some of these stupid things like the raid. Just it makes all those things so irrelevant now.
Yeah.
Like.
And Aldi is doing this really sick series where he's like moving around GP guilds and stuff, and he explained it perfectly. Like, no one's even doing the Sith Triumvirate anymore. Everyone's doing whatever the featured raid is because that's where
dude, the old raids are so much cooler. Even the Sea Pit, I'll say, was even like more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
The Crate Dragon raid wasn't that bad, but I don't know. I mean, I love the Heroic AAT raid and the Sith raid. I thought those were
I think
super
that at a certain point they should get to a point with these raids, because I like the format where
I don't like the format.
I kind of do. I kind of like the format that it's kind of like an assault battle. You can only use a certain group of people.
Yeah, but by the time you're done investing in those teams, like the raid's already done.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it'd be cool if at a certain point they had so many of those featured raids that they rotated them. Like, this is what we're doing this week.
I just don't like that because it kind of goes against what you were saying earlier about like if you look at the list of characters for this raid, they're atrocious.
I haven't seen
Kit Fisto, Kit Fisto, Ayla Sakura, Eth Koth, Jedi Knight Counselor, Jedi Knight Guardian. Dude, the characters, I don't even have a Gear 12, man. I think those characters are terrible.
They are, because if your kit has one line of dialogue, you shouldn't be a character.
Yeah, and it's like Lumi as well is another one.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't think those are the characters you need to be investing in, because here's the thing, like you said, you need to be farming. People are still farming GLs. People are still getting their GLs ready. Like, those are the teams that are more important, in my opinion. None of these characters do anything. Now, granted, there's some good characters in there, like Keller and Beck, Mace Windu, R2, whatever. Queen Amidala, the whole Separatist droids, minus Grievous. But then you get, like, Darth Maul and Sidious in there. I'm like, dude, like, what are you doing? Like, unless Darth Maul gets a rework, nobody should be taking him past, like, R7 or wherever he's needed.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Like, these characters are all garbage for the raid, man. It's terrible.
And I think that's bad for the game's, not economy, but you know what I mean.
It's terrible. It's like, And I did the math the other day. The average player does like what? Like the average endgame player does like one, like free to play, does like 1 to like 1.25 R9s a month. Okay. There's a total of 30 characters in this raid. You can only use 25 of them, right? For 5 attempts. Okay. That's 25 characters, and you take the R9 to get max points on this grade. Hopefully you don't need R9s. I think R8s will be okay. Dude, if this raid only lasts like 8 months, that means you're only going to be doing about 10 R9s as an endgame player, which that's 2 teams. And then the raid's gone. It's like you don't even have time to get a full R9 crew for the raid. And out of all the characters that are on the list, all 30 characters, I only have one of them at R9 right now. That's nuked. I think it's terrible, man. I think the new raid is.
Yeah, I understand the reservations.
Yeah, it's like. And people were all excited because it's like, oh, Galactic Republic and Separatists. It's like, dude, they're making you use all the Episode 1 bullshit that, like, nobody has. Yeah, like Kit Fisto, like, the only reason I have an R7 is because he just had a Datacron. Ayla Sakura, only reason I have her at R5 is because she had a Datacron. But, like, as an endgame player, that's the only reason, it's because I have him relicked.
Yeah, and that's...
Most people are not going to have him relicked.
Not, yeah. Exactly. Not everyone can afford to.
No, you shouldn't have them relicked. I only did it because my guild made me to, because they had badass Datacrons. But like East Koth, like, dude, give me a break.
I wonder what I don't know. It's just weird. Because you only hear one side of the coin. Getting ships needs to be easier. I think
they'll never do that.
Yeah, the issue with that is that's where the crystals are at, you know.
It doesn't matter. People want ships just to get ships so they can build out their fleet. They don't need that for fleet arena. Like, once you get your fleet arena squad, you're good.
Yeah. I'm getting about 300 crystals a day because I don't know how to beat I don't know how to beat Leviathan with Executor. I did it a couple times, but I've never been able to do it again.
You need to get the Chimera, man.
I know. I got him to gear 12.
You need to get the Chimera, you need to get the Interceptor, the Defender.
Apparently I can 3-star the Interceptor, so...
Very good.
Yeah. Someone in my comments was like, dude, you have Captain Rex. I did it when everyone was at Relic 3. And I was like, bet. Because my Phoenix is fully fleshed out now. Just need to get him on like 6-dot mods and stuff. But yeah, I got Rex to Relic 7. He hits like a Mack truck. And he's a support, so he's goated in Conquest.
There you go.
Didn't put too much effort into this Conquest. Got the...
Yeah, a lot of people aren't.
It's not even that it's Luthen. It's just I just went hard as a mug on the past 6. Because Padme and then Bane. So I just needed a nice light one, and
I got this one's easy to do anyways, so
got the 365 crate easy enough.
You can always get a decent crate on it next time. I really need to win my deck. I do not want to go 0-3.
Me too, man.
Dude, I need an answer for Reva. I can't beat her. She's what's caused me my first 2 rounds.
That's another thing that I'm doing. I'm just building all the Galactic Legends and then building teams that beat Galactic Legends, and then I'll build whatever the fuck I'm asked to, but I'm having fun to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I am feeling a bit of burnout right now.
I don't know how to beat Reva.
Are there any galactic legends at One Tapper?
Jabba can, but he lost. I was like, holy shit. I don't know.
Sometimes it is just
They have really good datacrons right now, Inquisitors.
yeah. If anyone wants to hop in the realm, all you gotta do is sub on Twitch or become a channel member for as little as 99 USD. Keeping it to members.
99 US dollars? What the hell?
No, 99 cents.
Oh, you said USD though.
Yeah, 99 cents USD.
Oh, I didn't hear the cents part. 99 USD.
Yeah, just don't want trolls in here. Plus, like, the realm costs $9 a month. You know, help a brother out.
I didn't even do TW today.
No?
No, dude, we opened up the board. It was already full cleared. They didn't set defense against us.
What the fuck?
Yeah, some guilds do that, where like they just like they're like, oh, we don't want this guild to get practice, so we know they're gonna beat us, so we're just gonna not give them anything to fight.
So goofy.
Which is fine with us, because then we're just like, okay, cool. Like, we don't have to do anything today.
People are just jit bitches sometimes. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll make a little patio. Bow, bow. Oh my god, you old fuck. Alright, let's grab some materials. Let's finish this up so we can mine. I really want to get in the mines, lads. I'll get my hands dirty. Two to three options to farm ships, not just one. I agree with that. I agree with that. To be fair, like, rebel ships are pretty easy to get nowadays. They're putting more and more of, like, the really good ships in the Galactic War store. They put Omega in the Galactic War store. They put Hera back in the Galactic War store. They're doing some nice stuff. Give them their credit. Next time we do a Guigo stream, we'll sit down and hash it out. I got you, man. like Banjeel said, try and get the Chimera fleet going. Try your best. That's a really good fleet. You can, like, on Guigo, you can build a really sick account only building, like, Rebels or only building Empire. Oh, I got you. Well, you got your Phoenix squad, right? You built that up a bit.
Talking to me?
Homie in my chat. He's trying to. I mean, you can offer some sage advice too.
What's he trying to do?
He just doesn't understand where to start with fleets.
Oh,
And I feel like an asshole giving any kind of fleet advice because
Chimera is you got to get that one kind of as soon as possible. Chimera is like you're probably going to be your best as a brand new player. Chimera is going to be your best. It's the best, fastest fleet you can build.
And the Imperial TIE Bomber is in the Galactic War Store.
Yes, which is going to my second fleet. I would highly recommend farming. Is Malevolence, because there are no pilots for that fleet. Technically. You're just gonna get Grievous and get him up, and then farm his 2 his droid ships, and you're pretty much good at that point. I mean, you can get some Geonosians. You can farm the Geos fairly quick, in my opinion, and get their ships, but Grievous is a very budget-friendly fleet early on. Yeah, I would highly recommend getting that because that just gives you a full fleet for like literally a couple characters. Negotiator is a long farm, but is probably one of the best fleets in the whole game that you can get early on. In terms of a galactic legend ship, I would go for Executor first.
It depends.
I don't know. I like Executor, man. I really do. It's not as deep as an investment as Leviathan. I don't like how expensive Leviathan is. Leviathan is much better than Executor.
To be fair, it's not terrible, Leviathan.
It is very expensive. What are you talking about? You got 2 R9s.
Good characters, though.
You got 2 conquest units.
Yeah.
Okay? You got Malgus. Then you also have his ship. So if you're not caught up on conquest, that's a whole nother loophole you got to do.
They're good characters, though.
No, they are. They're very good characters. It's just the
cost. I get that. Yeah.
I can't justify the cost for how much better it is than Executor. I think if you get Executor, you're gonna get more out of Executor much early on, versus you're still gonna be farming for Leviathan.
Yeah, that's very fair. Leviathan, it's gonna take a hot fucking minute.
Take forever to get. It'll take forever to get, and the thing with Leviathan is it's shit until you 7-star it.
Is that true?
It's not good until you 7. Yeah, because you don't unlock its most important abilities till you 7-star it.
Oh, mustard.
Yeah, Executor, you're good to go. You're good to go 4-star.
Mm-hmm. It just gets better as you upgrade it.
It does, yes, it gets better. But Leviathan, the things that make it work, I mean, you can still win on offense, but on defense, it'll get destroyed if it's not 7 stars.
I like profundity, though. You know, like bar for bar, value for value.
I hate profundity.
Does it beat Leviathan though? Because I see some guys in my fleet shard with like a 4-star, and they're always beating Leviathans, and I'm like, how?
If the Leviathans aren't 7 stars, then yeah.
No, they are. It's crazy.
Mm, I don't know. But maybe they're doing something stupid on the Leviathan part because they changed Leviathan's kit to hard counter profundity. Unless they're just being dumb. I mean, profundity used to be a counter to Leviathan when it first came out, but then, like I said, they changed Leviathan's kit where it hard counters profundity specifically. Or light side,
Yeah.
I should say light side. Sorry, light side ships. So negotiator as well.
Yeah, I just don't understand how to beat it, man. I don't get it.
It's a tough one to beat. Like I said, it's really tough.
I've beaten it.
It
I
has
want
like
to say
literally
three.
two counters in the whole game.
I want to say I've beaten it 3 times my entire career.
Yeah,
And I did it once.
Executor is not one of those counters either.
I used Executor twice on it. My first 2 times.
You got lucky.
Yeah, 100%. Because I did it 2 times in a row, and I haven't done it since. The other time, I used Negotiator. And I don't know how, but I won. I don't know what I did. I was just playing the Negotiator, you know? Keeping Anakin alive. Plo Koon, first reinforcement, all that shit. Yeah, the only reason why I say don't listen to me about fleet advice is because I can give you what I know, but I don't know the game. That's why I don't want to go on these podcasts, because I would just be talking on my ass, and I don't want to be.
You know more than most of these guys on their podcasts. Trust me. These guys spend money on the game and they still can't figure it out.
Yeah, and I just don't want to be put in a situation where, like, not saying that they would, but you never know how, like, what anyone's motivations are. Maybe they're trying to get me on there just to punk me, you know? So I'm just not going to put myself in that kind of situation.
Punk them back, bro. Take off your shirt midstream and show off your belly button and get them canceled. Be like, am I the Oilers fan you want?
Man, I'm hyped for that game.
Dude, coming back from the grave like that? Oh, I'm hyped. I'm not even a big hockey guy because my team's not even in the playoffs. But dude, coming back 0-3. Whew, especially in hockey, that's big.
I know. Just thinking about it, like, hockey is essentially soccer on ice.
Yeah.
And man, those are definitely the two, probably, in my opinion, the two hardest sports.
I think hockey's the hardest. I think hockey's the hardest sport. Just the fact that, what is it, the average, what they say, like the average NHL player loses most of their teeth during practice. I'm like, dude, there's no other sport where you're losing your fucking teeth. Like practicing with your own team. That's kind of hardcore.
Soccer's just a whole nother ball game because it's global, bro. It is fucking massive.
Have you seen those arenas where they have like the piranhas and tanks around the field so fans can't like jump?
That's some South American shit.
Yeah, well, that's what I said, other countries.
With hockey, like, I think I don't want to downplay the achievements nor like the pressures that the players feel, but if you ask the average sports fan, no matter what sport that they watch or whatever, if you ask them to name 10 NHL players, I think that they'd probably struggle. But
I think a lot of that has to do with just a lot of them, like their last names are so hard to pronounce sometimes.
It's just also not that individualistic of a sport.
Yeah, there's no Mike Trouts or Shohei Ohtani's, unfortunately. Like, there's no like huge LeBron James on the team. Like, I mean, you'll get guys like Gretzky every once in a while.
Yeah.
Um, you know, but yeah, all the big names that I can think of, they're all retired. I mean, my team is the Ducks, and we have a very young team right now. But
Oh yeah.
oh,
Yeah, there's been a
absolutely, yeah.
lot of
Like
shit in soccer.
there's been times where, like after the game, they'll assassinate the ref.
Yeah, there was a player from Colombia who scored an own goal in the World Cup, which eliminated Colombia. That player got executed by a Colombian gang upon returning to
So
Colombia.
I wouldn't say the sport is rough. It's just I think the crowd is the rough part of the sport.
That's what I meant by like the toughest. It's the toughest, but also
But
like the actual sport. Like
but I
you
also
have 11 guys against 11 guys trying to put a ball in the back of the net, and it's so fucking tough to do.
sure. I know, no, I'm not downplaying that at all. The one thing I will say that I just can't stand with soccer, and I think it's one of the cheesiest rules ever. This is just the I don't know. This is the MLB side of me coming out. You cannot, especially in a playoff game or championships, you cannot have it where somebody wins and somebody loses on a 0-0 game. I think that is so stupid.
They don't have that
Because
anymore.
yeah, yes they do. Yes they do. I was just watching it, like my grandma the other day. She was telling me like, this country is down more wins than this country, and if they tie, this country's gonna go forward and advance. And I'm like, that's
Oh,
dumb.
okay, yeah. So
That's dumb. And soccer's always had that. Soccer's always had that where they end in ties.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
but they do a
I'm
point
like,
structure.
they do, but I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that because I don't think it. Like, you remember how remember before how the MLB only used to have one wild card game
Yeah,
before the playoffs? I thought that was one of the dumbest things ever. Because here's the truth: any team in the MLB can beat any team in the MLB. If you have a bad game, you have a bad game.
that's why I like
know?
it.
Oh, well, yeah, but I didn't think it was
But
fair.
I
It didn't
think
give teams a fair
MLB.
shot.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
they
I
changed
agree.
it to best 2 out of 3, and I'm like, that's fine because guess what? Most teams aren't going to go to game 3. It's
I
like
think all
if you're
baseball
gonna
should be
win,
best of 7, even wild card, because I want to see more. I
uh,
don't. There can't be 162 regular season games, only for there to be a maximum of what, 3, 8,
I like that structure though.
22.
I like
A maximum of 22 playoff games to win the World Series. Like
I like that though because
we're only
I don't
adding
think
6
I don't think
games, maximum.
right, but well, yeah, six games can turn into like 2 weeks worth of baseball though.
Heck
You
yeah.
have to understand is I don't agree with that, the structure that everything needs to be a game 7 in other sports, because the thing is, if you're the team that just barely makes the cut, like you just barely make the cut, man, like if you're gonna win, you're gonna win. If you're gonna lose, we'll just get you out early. Like that's just how it is. So I like how baseball's playoffs are structured, where it just gradually gets longer.
Yeah, it goes
It's like
best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, best of 7.
yes, I think that's
And
totally
it used to
fine.
be best of 9 in the World Series, but they dropped
Oh
it.
fuck, dude, that would have the World Series would have taken a whole month.
You do 3, 5, 7, 7. NBA used to be best of
Because
5, best of 5, best of 7, best of 7.
and I like the gradual structure just because, like I said, it cuts the people that aren't there. Like if you're gonna win, you're gonna win. If you're losing that early, you do not belong in the playoffs. Clear and simple. It's like, let's just trim the fat, and then the players and teams that deserve to be there at the end will have more of a spectacle for them. Anyways, going back to soccer, I don't like how some country can win by not scoring, because you can tell they're like, guys, we can't score against them. Let's just play super hard defense and just turtle for the next like 30 minutes.
It's
And I'm
not
like,
so much that people can win, but like the
They do,
example
though.
that you're talking about was Poland got eliminated because France and
No, that's not the team I was watching. This was something that's like this is like literally a few weeks ago. It was like something.
Good Lord.
I don't remember. I don't remember, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, the thing is like they didn't go to a shootout. They didn't go to a golden goal. They didn't do any of that. It's just they just ended the game they went like 8 minutes of overtime or whatever, or 8 extra minutes, whatever you want to call it, and then they're like, okay, yeah, 0-0. This country wins.
Huge boom there from It's Bonnie Blue, scaring me to bits. Goodness sakes, you can't win around these parts, man. Trying to have a nice conversation with Banjeel and just getting scared crapless by a jump scare, man.
Now, I would like to see soccer do something where, then other sports have done this too, to like try to force a win out of one of the teams. So you know, when you go to a hockey game,
it also depends on the competition, just so you know. Like not every.
Well, I think people would rather see the win. I don't think I think people hate like the people like the obviously in soccer people don't care how their team wins. They just want their team to win. But like
that's pretty fair.
I don't think the 0-0 win is ever something to like really be proud of. But if you look at other sports, hockey, when you go into overtime, you go down to what, 3 versus 3?
Well, you only ever win 0-0 if you won the first, like the game that happened before it, because a lot of soccer does what's called aggregate scores, and they go based off of 2 legs of a game.
I've seen that before, where they're like, well, this team scored more points in the last round, so they're going to be the ones that advance.
Yeah, I really like that.
I don't.
I think that would be a perfect thing to do in baseball.
No, hell no. Dude, what are you saying? You kidding me?
I'd want to try it out.
Because if you're because there's going to be certain look at the divisions, dude. Look. Okay, there's 2 teams I want you to look at right now. Or you don't have to look at them, but I'll just tell you. Colorado Rockies, Chicago White Sox. Okay, those are the teams that have the most amount of runs scored against them right now. White Sox are leading, and they're also on track. I don't know if you heard. The White Sox are on track for having the most runs scored against them of all time.
Nice.
Not really. My point is, if you're in that division with them, right, you're just farming those runs. You're just farming those runs because you're like, guess what? You know what? If we make it to the playoffs, and for whatever reason we ended a tie, we're going to win every single game because, you know, we scored 20 runs against the White Sox or the Rockies every game. I think that's totally unfair.
Oh, no, I don't want that. Like in the playoffs, say it's Red Sox against Yankees. Game 1, Red Sox win 6-3. Well, the Yankees need to win by at least 4 in the next game. I think that would be a sick
But they've already come up with a way to speed up the process, other than only in the regular season. This rule doesn't apply to playoffs, but you know they start with the runner on second. I'm like, I love that rule. Yeah, let's just end the game, put a needle in it, let's go. We get a runner on second.
I'm purely talking playoffs though.
Oh, playoffs! I feel like playoffs you can't change. Playoffs you just have to let it happen naturally, and if it takes 27 innings like that one year, it takes 27 innings.
I hated that.
What team was that again?
I went to an 18-inning ball game, bro. I hated it.
What was the game?
Mariners Astros.
Something like that, yeah.
It sucked. It was the worst night of my life.
You were there till like 4 in the morning.
It was 0-0, bro. It was 0-0 through the 18th freaking inning.
Jesus.
I saw 2 ball games, bro. It sucked.
You lied to me. You didn't say it was a double. Did they come around and charge everyone twice?
No, that would have sucked because tickets were $4.50.
Yes.
Because it was, to be fair, it was a sellout. It was the first playoff game in
like
Seattle
20 years.
In 21 years.
Yeah, it's a big deal for you
And
guys.
then we went,
I remember that.
And we couldn't put it, like, we held the Houston Astros, who went on to win the World Series, held them to 0 freaking runs in 18 innings. Sure, we shot ourselves in the foot the first 2 games. You know, we should have won. We had big leads in both of them. But it was still cool. I went with my brother and his soon-to-be missus. Like, he really needs to figure that out. you know. But no pressure. No pressure. It was
So,
great. My brother, he was a pitcher in baseball, so he loves that kind of shit. I was a center fielder, so
oh
the
God,
last
I
thing I
hate
want
center
to
fielders.
the last thing I want to see is a 0-0 ball game through 18.
I couldn't stand center fielders, man. You guys acted like you guys were the
We are just the
biggest,
absolute best.
bestest like bat in the whole team, and oh my God.
Hey, it translated to men's league softball. I'm an absolute bucket in men's league softball.
No, I was always a catcher.
I can't field anymore. Like I just, after my latest concussion when I fell down the stairs, I just can't see the ball anymore. It sucks. But nothing I can do. Nothing I can change.
Be a catcher.
I just DH now. I lead the team
Ah,
in on base percentage, so I got to be out
there you
there.
go.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if soccer did something like that, where they would like instead of doing if like they can't do a shootout, they don't do golden goals, whatever the rule is. Like
I don't know what
my
league you were
my rule,
watching.
it's like international World Cup stuff probably. Anyways, it would be cool instead of ending the game in a 0-0 tie.
Mhm.
Like it'd be cool. Like okay, when we go into added time, we're gonna make like both of the nets scoot up by like 30 yards. And we take out like 2 players from each team or something like that. Something to like speed the game up a little bit.
Nah, that's just taken
Um,
away. That's taken away from the beautiful game. Can't do it.
well, it's not that beautiful of a game if it's ending 0-0. Like you just said, I hated being at an 18 inning.
It's different
zero
though,
scoring
man. Because
game.
like France and Spain just played the other day, and they're the number 1 and the number 2 team in their group of 4 teams, and they played to a 0-0 draw, so 0-0. But it was still a great freaking game. It was a great
I'm
game.
not saying it was like yeah. There's some games where it's like it's a total gridlock where it's just nobody wants to give up.
Mm-hmm.
But like at the end of the day, when I'm thinking of a sport or competition, I'm thinking of a scoreboard, a time limit. Somebody comes out with more points than the other person.
No, I totally get that part too. Totally get that part.
Like because from a lot of the 0-0s I've seen, I know a lot of them are just like like you said, great games. A lot of them are great games, total gridlocks. But from the ones I've seen, not all of them stay like that because sometimes players get tired. And then, they've been giving it their all for the whole 90 minutes, right? 90 minutes plus.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is like the team that's like, hey guys, we don't have to score to advance. Let's take the cheap way out. Let's just hang back and play defense and let these guys tire themselves out.
That's a tactic,
Because,
though. You gotta respect it.
Bro, that is the same tactic I would see coaches do in Little League, where they're like, if you can't finish the inning, you go back to the last inning before they lost their lead. It's such bullshit. It's like, dude.
It's a tactic as old as the Spartans.
Yeah, but this is the professional level, man. It's so stupid.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I can't get into soccer. I'm like, dude, you get to do that, and technically that means you can like not even score half of your games and still win. Like that's just, I don't know.
Only in knockout ties can that happen.
That's even worse. There should be no ties in games, in my opinion. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
A tie means
Absolutely.
like
Could you imagine if you did that for boxing? Guys,
boxing
it
has
was a
draws all the time.
Without judge's decision. No, because there's always a winner in boxing. There's always a clear winner. You'll never watch a boxing match where they're like, unless both players get disqualified for doing something illegal or something like that. Like, you never see a boxing match or a UFC match where there's like both players walk off, neither one gets a title or anything. Like, I seem like lazy rep. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
I do understand the like want to get more out of a competition. It's just sometimes sometimes those competitions warrant ending 0-0 or 1-1 or 3-3. Like, shit happens.
Okay, here's the thing, because it doesn't happen often. I'm okay with the 1-1 that. I'm okay, because it's like, okay, you guys did score. The 0-0 is where I have issues. The 0-0 is where I think I have a big problem.
Yeah, and more often than not, a 0-0 game, you're gonna go home with a taste of flat Diet Coke in your mouth. But on the occasion that there's actual class and quality being played, you just gotta take it and applaud the players, applaud the ref, and go again, you know. And Poland just got eliminated because France and Italy drew 0-0. Or France and somebody. I don't think it was Italy. Might have been Spain. I think it was Spain. But that's more so on Poland because after 2 games they had 0 points. They lost both games. All France and Spain needed were a draw, but they were actively going for the win. So in that case, it was a fucking great game. But I do understand where you're coming from. No need. I already kind of know your account. I would go with what Van Seal said, man. Build up a Chimera fleet. The Empire with Thrawn as the fleet commander. I think that is the go freaking two. In your case. I think Banji will...
Yeah, Chimera... Again, then get your budget comp, your Grievous fleet, you know, because it's gonna be cheap. It's like 3 pilots maybe for a whole fleet. And then, like I said, Negotiator. You're gonna be using Negotiator all the way till the end game. Negotiator is incredible. It's a really good fleet. Probably the strongest. Probably the. I don't want to say it's like the best non-GL fleet, but like you're gonna get more use out of. It depends for defense and offense. I know a lot of people are like saying Chimera because it can counter Leviathan, but I'm like...
Then yeah, I would say it's Chimera right now because Chimera can also beat Executor, you know?
That's true.
If it has the right teams, it could beat... It can smoke.
I think you'll get more uses out of Negotiator. Yeah, it'll kill Negotiator.
Yeah, I would... First fleet, bro, I would do Chimera. And that's coming from me. I don't have it built up. I'm actively building it though, you know.
Negotiator's just like that fleet's just insanely good.
Mm-hmm.
Insanely good fleet. And all the pilots are really good too.
To help him out, what would the starting lineup for Chimera be before Scythe and Interceptor?
TIE Advance, Bomber, and probably TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
That's a good starting lineup. If you go for Gauntlet's also really good in the starting lineup. Instead of TIE Fighter pilot.
Yeah, and even Emperor Shuttle. Really solid reinforcement.
Yeah, reinforcement for sure. Yeah, you definitely don't want to start with Emperor Shuttle, but reinforcement would be Emperor Shuttle.
Yeah, I got you.
Or what's it called? Even the Reaper, if you have the Reaper. Then copy that game.
This should... I'm doing the exact names too.
Yeah. I'm gonna look at what Empire ships we have. Yeah, because Bombers, no pilot for the... Yeah.
So that's the starting lineup. You only have to build up 2 characters for that. Vader and TIE Fighter pilot. TIE Fighter pilot is insanely fast. And he'll be pretty decent in kind of any Empire team that you build at the start.
Mm-hmm.
He has a sick AoE that
No Zetas, old characters, so there's no Chirotechs on him
yep.
until you relic him.
Same with Vader. Same with Vader. And
Yeah,
then
Vader's gonna have 3 Zetas though.
Reaper are actually in order. Emperor's Shuttle.
I work on Emperor Shuttle Gauntlet over Reaper. You're not gonna get much use out of Reaper
No,
until you get Tarkin.
I meant Gauntlet. I meant Gauntlet.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you unlock more slots, you'll do TIE. Isn't it?
Defender is free to play though. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh no, hell yeah, get the Defender. I thought that you had to do something for the Defender. No, that's free to play. You just need to get Iden. That's it.
Yeah, and Iden's easy to farm these days.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah.
So you get the Defender, and then
I think once you get the Defender, you can start to possibly counter Executors. Don't know how clean it's going to be since you don't have the Interceptor.
Those will be the reinforcements until you get the TIE. Is it /N? I think it is.
Yeah, TIE IN. The tin.
And then what's the Scythe?
Safe.
With Thrawn.
Chimera.
Grand Admiral Thrawn is the commander.
The blue guy.
Very, very quick tune. And Banjeel literally went on a 7.
His capital ship is not.
No, his tune.
Oh, his tune is, yeah.
Banjo went on a 17-minute monologue telling me how much of a piece of shit that I am for having him purple gear.
Yeah, I don't know why you did that. You read his books, man. You owe him that.
I love Thrawn. I own
Could have fooled me.
It's just the catch-up game, the early game. You know, you get caught between two minds. And if you look at my Empire, like, I really haven't touched it.
Remember what I told you about Thrawn?
That he's cool,
guy goes
blue,
on you can put him on any team you want.
I didn't know that.
Fracture is still Fracture.
I've gotten my Guigo knowledge from one streamer and one streamer only.
Arnold?
No, we stopped watching him like last summer. Still, he's a good guy, but
so the TIE FAB are first line, and the rest underneath. What?
Yes. The fighter, advance, and bomber are going to be your starting lineup until you get Scythe, and then your Scythe will be in your starting lineup against certain comps. But don't worry about that because you're years away from the Scythe. You got to get Inquisitors to get the Scythe and the Interceptor. I 3-starred Scythe. I'm about to 3-star Interceptor. I'm gonna put in some work to try and get Malgus 3-starred. Just need good RNG, man. How is everybody, though? Is everyone doing well? You've been playing any games while you've been ill, or you just been chilling?
No, I've just been chilling. I haven't played anything.
I started watching Better Call Saul.
I love that show, man. I think it's better than Breaking Bad.
I'm in the first season. It's pretty sick.
It's a slow burn. It doesn't
That's what art is, bro. Yeah. That's what good art
it's
is.
a very slow burn, and then once you get to like seasons like 3 and 4, dude, it just picks up so fast, and then the last couple seasons are just crazy. Like, holy crap.
People that say like, oh, the show is a little too slow for me.
No, this show is extra slow, like really, really slow, because like
Yeah, it's world building. I love it.
Well, I think they do a little. I think they do a little bit too much world building in Better Call Saul, because the show almost got canceled like 3 or 4 times because of viewership drop. Because Breaking Bad, it's just like, you know, that show just goes from 0 to 100 every 5 seconds. Better Call Saul, there's a lot of times, I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a lot of times you're just like, you're going to ask yourself, like, where the hell is this leading to? Because I think they do a really bad job at just like connecting things right away. Like I said, like, I cannot overemphasize slow burn because it is very, very slow burny. But it does pay off. Everything will pay off at the end.
Can I tell you where I'm at right now?
Sure.
Mike's arc. His son got killed by some dirty cops.
Yes.
So he killed them.
You watch Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah, I've seen Breaking Bad.
Okay. So you know. Okay, yeah, you know where all these characters end up. Okay. Okay, yeah. So you're watching Mike's art. So he's still working the security booth, right, at the courthouse.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, you'll start to like.
Is that enough stickers?
So, Better Call Saul introduces original characters, and it also introduces like characters from Breaking Bad. And I think when you start to see more of the Breaking Bad characters, that's when it starts to really pick up.
Okay.
But Mike plays a huge role in this show, which I really like because I love the actor. I love the character.
Yeah, sorry, it's not Ty Gauntlet, it's Gauntlet Starfighter. Gauntlet Starfighter. And the tunes that are required for that, very cheap and on the same node. So, easy peasy lemony squeezy.
And the one thing that I like so much more about Better Call Saul, I love the male-female dynamic in the show.
Kim,
I remember everyone
hated
Skylar. Not her fault. It's just
that's her character.
Was written to be, that's her character. Everyone hated her, dude. Kim, man, dude, like, I don't even want to call her a supporting role, but dude, like, Kim is a badass. Like, I love Kim. Like, and the dynamic that her and Saul end up like having.
Bro, it's Jimmy still.
Or Jimmy, sorry, yeah, that's right. You don't even know how he calls himself Saul.
I've seen like the flashback where he's like, "What's your name?" Saul. Good, man.
Yeah.
I've seen that, but I haven't seen when he actually starts going by Saul Goodman.
When he does it, dude, it just happens. It's just like just. I'm not gonna say what happens, but something happens, and then when it does, he's just like, "All right, good time to change my name." Like, just bam, on a dime, like, just changes.
Yeah, he just went through some shit with Hamlin about like.
Oh, that's another character that's great, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, and that Hamlin is like
he's the Squidward. He's the Squidward of the show, man. Like, he's just the.
I was gonna say he's a comp to like Orson Krennic.
A little bit.
To where people kind of just underrate them, when in reality they're such great written characters. Yeah, of course.
You'll learn about him. He's an absolute dick. But no, he's a great character. He's great. But yeah, no, Jimmy and Kim Wexler, man, their dynamic is amazing, absolutely amazing.
The thing is, though, that is tough with them because they kind of get portrayed as like there's some romance between them. The tough thing is, I know that she's not in Breaking Bad, so.
Right. Yeah. That's I'm not gonna say anything because you know what? That was on everyone's mind the entire time watching that show.
Okay.
Because we're getting introduced to all these original characters, and not all of them are in Breaking Bad. So you know your mind immediately goes to like, are they gonna get killed off? Are they gonna get written off the show? Are they just alive somewhere off screen? Like, I'm not gonna give you hints for anything because they do such a good job at handling all of them. They do, but yeah, no, like.
Yeah, Vince Gilligan, great writer.
Yeah.
His team as well, like he set himself up for success with that show.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think Better Call Saul is better than Breaking Bad, in my opinion. Like I think Better Call Saul's a really crazy roller coaster, a lot of loops and just craziness, but like Better Call Saul, man, it's just like fine wine, cheese, and it just gets better like as the show goes on.
That's dope. Can't wait. And I know what, someone might say.
The only thing I will say, and this is kind of a spoiler, but this is also a spoiler to not confuse you, because it confused the hell out of everybody. When I don't know why they did this. So at the beginning of every season, they do like a black and white cut, a jump cut to like the future of like post Breaking Bad. Of Saul.
Yeah. Okay. Working at Cinnabon.
Cinnabon, right. Because that's the joke. Remember, he says that to Walter. He's like, oh, I'll be lucky if I get a job working at Cinnabon, which he ends up doing, ironically. The one thing that confused everybody was every season, like we get an extended version of that clip. We see what happens more. There's more to the story that's being told, and there's a man that he encounters in one of these I forget if it's season 2 or 3, but there's a guy he encounters, right, in this like flash forward. They recasted him like 2 or 3 times, so like because he was only in for one scene in one season, like we only shot him, he was only got like like 90 seconds of screen time for one season. It's like, we can recast him. But the problem is, it's like, we're like, wait, is that the same guy or is it the different guy? It's like, so I'm just letting you know, when you watch the flashback and he interacts with the dude and it looks like he's interacting with a different dude, it's the same character, they just recasted him. It's just a very odd choice. I don't know why they did that, but it confused the hell out of everybody.
As a writer myself, sometimes you just get drawn to like certain background characters that you just want to do more with, or that you didn't plan on it in the first place.
Contracting issues or scheduling issues, yeah.
Like a character for me that I didn't even plan on doing much with is Fredo Kendata, right? He's a former bounty hunter that, after he lost his hand, retired because he just wants to provide for his daughter. So now he's a deputy on Tatooine, in a small town. And bro, I had literally no plans to do anything with the guy, but I love the character so much that I'm gonna do like a little short story about what he gets up to during his bounty hunter days. It's gonna be dope. Also, I need to freaking... No, that's not a spoiler. I've talked about it on the... on the YouTube channel. and what he does is not necessarily anything to be spoiled, so it's all good.
But yeah, no, yeah, it's yeah, Better Call Saul, man. It's really good. Really good show.
I love how they introduced Kim as well. Like they showed her in
Yes.
the background, and then like it's just such a brilliant fucking show, man. They showed her in the background, and then Jimmy storms out of Hamlin and McGill and goes towards the parking garage, and she's there smoking on a fag, and then you can see, okay, so this is his person. This is where he goes to vent, to just be with, and that what was the arc that just happened with the family that was embezzling? But it was about Tuco's like henchmen, and the fact that they made an entire arc around Tuco's henchmen is hilarious.
What's his name? He's an original
Nacho?
character. Nacho, yeah. No, he's a great character.
Yeah, he's sick because he's that alternate energy to what Tuco offers. You know, with the chaos, he's the silent enforcer, because while his demeanor, like, he's the good cop, essentially. While his demeanor proves one thing, like, bro will literally cut your fingers off and dangle them in your face, because that's just who he is.
Yeah, Nacho is another really good character. Yeah, so like I said, the show introduces original characters that aren't in Breaking Bad, and I can't think of a single one that I wasn't happy with.
I know certain things happen just because of what's been spoiled over the years. Like, I know Gus.
Yeah, it's hard not to. Yeah. Oh, you know, Gus shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the bitch of it is, man, with the modern day algorithms, you watch a show, that shit will be on your YouTube channel.
The show is old. But I mean, like, yeah.
Like, I started playing Red Dead Redemption, right? I streamed Red Dead Redemption. I like to watch my VODs over just to see how I do, how my mic quality is. So because I watched like 2-3 hour Red Dead Redemption video, what do you think they're going to recommend me? Red Dead Redemption videos. Red Dead Redemption
ending.
Exactly. So I had to go in and just blindly not look at that shit too, because I don't want to ruin my own experience.
So talking about Gus, because you just said, like, you know, he's gonna show up. I really like how they do that in Better Call Saul. They do a really good job at, like, it's like, here's Tuco, here's Mike, and then I forget what season Gus shows up. It's like, here's Gus, then here's this other character that is also in Breaking Bad. I'm not going to tell you who all is in the show or who isn't, but it's like, obviously, the more these Breaking Bad characters start showing up, the more we're getting closer to Breaking Bad. And they do a really good job of, like, showing how the show goes from Better Call Saul, and it's being contorted into Breaking Bad. And then at the same time, you also have Jimmy being contorted into Saul, and just how, like, this guy turned into the guy he was, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a really good job at, like the evolution, I guess, of the character, And then like I said, every time they drop like a big Breaking Bad character that's in the show, it's like you're just getting closer and closer to when he does change.
Then you get
yeah.
Wackolite, which the only thing I've seen of the Acolyte is because my boy Star Wars Theory, shout out to him. Yeah. Freaking Ki-Adi Mundi is in there.
I know, man.
He, at that point, isn't even a sperm cell in his dad's nuts.
Wikipedia changed his birth date on their website to defend the show.
Hey, man.
Like more like Wikipedia.
Got him.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, and then I guess they're threatening to sue. One of them just wants to sue each other, like Star Wars Theory or Wikipedia. But like, really, like, clearly they made a mistake. They made an error. Because they just don't care about continuity, and they did not do their research.
That's just what bothers me.
Like, if something as little as that, it's like, dude, like, you're not even aware of like when you are in the Star Wars universe. It's like, might as well have Abraham Lincoln be a Jedi too. You know, it's like, but yeah, they changed his birth date. So I'm like, wow, that's crazy how like you can just rewrite the rules to support the show that's doesn't really care about you in the first place.
Exactly. And not to use like this terminology that gets thrown around so often, like shill and stuff, but at a certain point you do need to call a spade and just not reward or honor this. Acolyte's the one show that I consider Legends. It's just Legends.
I don't even consider it Legends. I don't even think I think it's an insult to Legends to be calling it Legends.
At this point, though, like, there's nothing else that you can call it without...
Don't call it anything and don't acknowledge it. Just refuse to acknowledge its existence.
I just wonder how they're gonna go about it, man. Genuinely, like,
I don't know, man.
They gonna...
I'm just... My biggest fix for Star Wars is sell it to another company. Sell it to Universal. Sell it to Paramount.
I don't want them to bitch out, though. I want them to, like, hunker down.
I want them to bitch out because they've taken this long. Here's the thing: they're taking this long, and since Disney's bought in Star Wars, like I just feel like we just haven't gotten anything.
Hey man, Rogue One was great.
Sure. Rogue One, but anybody could have made Rogue One. And you know, Kathleen Kennedy, you know what's funny? She didn't even have that big of a handle on Rogue One or Solo because she was like, I don't like the spin-off movies. She was against those ideas. She was like, I don't like the ideas of these movies, but we need something in between the episodics. So she wasn't even that hands-on when it came to I think she was hands-on with Solo because she fired the directors. She didn't like the direction they were going. But like, she wasn't even that involved in Rogue One. Not that much. And it's crazy. She wasn't involved, and it was arguably the best movie they put out. I really would like another studio to pick it up because I think a lot of studios... Because here's the thing. It's not a Star Wars issue as much as it is a Disney issue. And I think a lot of companies, like Universal, are starting to model themselves on what Disney is doing wrong. They're like, hey, we don't need to play to our strengths. We just need to play to their weaknesses. So a lot of companies are starting to acknowledge why people are getting so upset with Disney. They're like, hey, we're just going to start putting content out that people actually want and just stop following the Disney model.
It's easier said than done, though.
It is, but you know, for whatever reason, Disney makes it very, makes it very, I don't know. They really just seem to top themselves. I mean, It's amazing. Someone sent me a really funny post about the Acolyte. Let me see if I could find it. I was like, dude, I didn't even think of that because I haven't watched the show, so why would I think of it? This guy sent me a screen grab. It's funny. He says, "It's no small feat, but what is it? It's no small feat, but we don't give Disney enough credit as we do. They managed to make lesbian space, which is completely uninteresting and unappealing to the 18 to 52 male target demographic." Like,
Those witches did look cool, and it just sucks that
Yeah.
they mishandled their executions, man.
yeah.
I don't know. I just think that what they did and how they did.
It's not even over. That's the crazy part. It's not even over, man. Just wait. Season finale, there's gonna be a rainbow saber.
I just think that you need to care, and I just don't think that they care.
They care?
No, they don't.
No, these people care. They just don't care about Star Wars.
Yeah,
they
that's
care
what I
about
mean.
They care about pushing their own. They care about using Star Wars as this dead, used, beat up corpse to push their own agenda and politics.
Yeah, and I just
that's
think
something
that
George never did.
I just think that you need to, like, as an artist myself, as a devout lover of all things that Da Vinci did and Galileo did, I think you really need to care about what you're making. And I don't think that these actors nor showrunners genuinely care. And because they're Disney and because they have so much pull, they can do what they like, and it sucks.
That's what I'm saying. They need to get rid of. They really need to get rid of. They need it. Someone needs to buy it off them.
No, I think there's people there that actually care, though. They just don't get the opportunities, man.
The people that do care are not in the big chairs.
Yeah.
The people that do care are not the ones in power right now. So that's what I'm saying. They have to get rid of it. I think a company needs to buy them out, or not buy them out, but a company needs to pick up Star Wars, honestly, and like it wouldn't be that hard to change anything. It really wouldn't.
I don't want anyone to lose their job, though.
Here's the thing, though, dude.
Quality needs to be controlled at a certain point.
People are already losing their job because of Disney. So I can go all into that if you want. We can talk about Disney animation, dude. Like,
no, I don't want to cut you off, but I do want to just have good vibes. So why don't you let's just talk about dope shit that we like about Star Wars, man. Let's talk about baseball, you know. Because we can go into an endless loop of a vacuum about the things that we dislike, but I think that is a big displacement of our energy when we could talk about things we love, like Michael Trout. You know, how cool would that be if he could make the playoffs and pull off like something that Connor McDavid's doing right now? You know? It's not, you guys aren't too far away from a World Series, you know, 22 years. Yeah. And
those glasses you weren't prescription?
No, the connection that I was going to make is like 20 years ago, Star Wars was what we loved growing up with, right? 20 years ago, the Angels won the World Series. 22 years ago.
22, yeah.
And all it takes is just someone at the top making the decisions, you know? Because I feel like you guys have been getting HOE'd by your owner, and that goes without saying. But then you get this guy like Mike Trout. You get a guy like LeBron James who went through a very similar thing in Cleveland. Only thing is Mike Trout stuck it out. Probably the worst decision of that I can think of any.
He's loyal, and here's the thing, like,
what's he loyal to, though? That's the thing. Like, that's what I want to talk about.
I think he's loyal to the team. I think he wants to, because this is a team that gave him literally almost $100,000 a day if he's healthy.
Don't you think everyone else is giving him that, though? Like, And this is the
No one could afford his contract right now. No one could afford his contract. I think he wants the Angels. I mean, he's loyal to the fans, right? I think he wants to be like, this is my team. This is the team I've been on. I want to win with my team. So I totally respect it. Totally get that where he's coming from. Unfortunately, it's like Disney. It's like the people at the top, man. Artie Moreno, probably the biggest villain in all of baseball, minus the commissioner. I don't think we're close to a World Series, personally. The number one thing the Angels have struggled with is pitching for the last 10 years.
And just wasting
and
money.
That's with, and wasting money. And we just had arguably the greatest baseball player of all time.
Ever.
And we didn't even trade him.
Nope.
I was saying we needed to trade him, get money for him. That way we can use that money to either get prospects or, trade prospects or buy pitchers. We let him go. We got nothing out of him.
Who was your favorite ball player growing up?
Adam Kennedy. Second baseman for the Angels.
Nice. Mine was, I was blessed. I had Ichiro, Felix Hernandez, Ken Griffey Jr., but for me, man, A-Rod. That was my guy. Loved A-Rod.
A-Rod was good.
I know his character, I guess, that when he was playing was kind of scummy. People didn't like him. But just pound for pound, I don't think there's a better infielder ever.
I think he's a typical professional athlete. I wouldn't say there's anything negative about him. I think whatever was said about him hasn't been said about other professional athletes before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really wanted to see Trout leave. I really do, just because it really bums me out to see him trying so hard, and he probably plays like he has the weight of the world on his shoulders, and then he gets hurt all the time because he's just putting so much stress on his own body.
It's like seeing your friend in a really toxic relationship that he's getting.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just getting abused and used, and
Yep.
He knows he should leave. His friends know that, parentheses, fans know that he should leave.
And the Angels even said if he wants to go, he can go. They'll respect his wishes. It's like, dude, what a waste. It's like wasted Ohtani. Thankfully, Ohtani's gone. Unfortunately, ended up on the Dodgers. I really wanted to see Ohtani end up on the Yankees or some other team like that. Trout, I'd like to see Trout go to the Phillies. I think Trout with Harper. Oh god, dude, that would be a sick ass back-to-back.
Yeah, Bryce Harper's probably been my favorite player since
he's fun, man.
He got into the league.
Obviously, he had an attitude issue at the beginning, but he's matured.
Exactly, and I think he had a real nice babyface turn. I think I don't think anyone in baseball has a bad word to say about Bryce Harper.
And that's how everyone feels about Trout. Everybody wants to Trout was the one that started the whole, World Classic. He was the team captain. Every people were not interested in playing until they heard Mike Trout was the captain.
Yep.
Everyone loves Trout, but they're just like, man, why is he with that ugly girlfriend? The Angels.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he still with them?
I would say I'm a sports purist, I love sports. I want to see the best players in the best positions to get the most out of them, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter that LeBron James went and signed for Miami. It doesn't matter that Kevin Durant went and signed for Golden State. In the moment, sure, you're mad because it's your team that he left or this, that, the other. But at the end of the day, these are artists and we want to see the best art possible. And especially as a basketball fan, for me, I want to see the best basketball possible. And as a basketball player myself, and even a baseball player, football player, you want to play with your friends. You want to play with good players because it pushes you. It's like you're only as good as the company you got. That's what I always say. And you're not gonna have that opportunity
I think I
your
think
entire
even
life.
if Trout left, I think it actually would do good for the Angels if he left.
Yeah, because you especially if you got some get back with it. If you got a
No,
little
no,
bit.
they're not going to even get back with. No, I'm not talking about like you're going to get players from. I'm talking about like a reality check for the organization, for the owner, because
Oh, got you. Okay.
you can't tell me that you're going to be, you guys found the most gifted ball player, arguably of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Never even made to a single playoff game with him, and you had Mike Trout, and then you lose Mike Trout. Like, let's just say that actually plays out. Then you lose Mike Trout. Like, how does that look? In terms of like, and you've gone through how many managers? A lot of them were actually kind of decent, and didn't deserve to be fired. Joe Madden, I mean, I know they went on like what 11, 12, 13 game losing streak, but they just fired him out of the blue. I thought he was doing a great job. I was like, that was just like we need to do something from the office. Um, if you can't make it, and the thing is, they changed the rules. It's so easy to make the playoffs now. They added more playoff slots. It's like, dude, if you can't even make the playoffs anymore, and you got that much power on your team, like what is happening? Like that's like that is the questions people need to be like they need to be asking. It's like what's going on in the office, like of Artie Moreno, because like I just don't see how you don't make the playoffs once. Trout's only seen 3 playoff games, and they got swept by Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. And he hit a home run.
Like, how is that possible? He's gonna go down as one of the greatest baseball players of all time.
With one playoff hit.
Right. I mean, hell, look at this season. What was he at when he was healthy? He was leading the league, both leagues. He was leading the MLB in home runs. But look at his RBIs. What was it, like 11 home runs with 8 RBIs? Like everything was a solo shot for Mike Trout.
Ooh, puppies.
So, and the Angels division sucks too. It's not like their division is impossible.
He plays the game so well too.
I know, and like I said, the Angels division. No, and I'm not throwing shade towards Seattle or anything, because I think Seattle's a really fun team to watch right now. But the Angels division isn't like an impossible one to win. I know the Astros have kind of locked things down for a bit, but the Astros suck now.
Yeah.
The A's aren't going to go anywhere. Not until they get to Vegas, at least. So, the Angels got, 2 more years before they're in Vegas?
Mm-hmm.
2.5, 3 years, something like that.
Hello!
So it's like, but I bet you the A's, once they hit Vegas, dude, they're going to be a really good team, because they're going to get a lot of money thrown at their team. It's going to be a brand new team. The Rangers, I think the Rangers are done. I think they got their World Series finally. I don't think they're going to be a World Series team for a while.
No,
they got really lucky, in my opinion. But they're, yeah, exactly. I was rooting for them because they went back to back and lost. It was terrible. What, 2010, 2011? But
yeah, that was brutal. They had a nice little team there too.
They did, man. Adrian Beltre,
prime Josh, MVP Hamilton.
Coked out Josh, CJ Wilson. Then we picked him up, and he was a piece of crap on the Angels, same as Hamilton. What another waste of millions.
You know who I always hated? Sean Figgins.
Sean Figgins?
Yeah.
I hated him too.
He used to just always get a single up the middle against us with runners in scoring position. Just ruin my day.
Yeah, wouldn't catch balls in the outfield though, even if they paid him to. He would just stand there and drop it. Oh wait, they do pay him.
You know who else I used to totally dislike, and I think you guys had him for a couple of seasons, is Jim Edmonds.
Yes, we did. He wanted to retire as an Angel.
What else did you guys have at that point? You had K-Rod for a hot minute.
Well, Jim Edmonds was a long time though.
K-Rod was sick. I used to want to pitch like him. I always did his goofy little quick rotation. There's Just a quick little wind up. Talk about dominance, man. I think there's a better closer in like a 3-year vacuum, apart from Mariano Rivera.
But yeah, if you look at the last like 10, 15 years, like the Angels are in one of the like top most spending teams. Out of all those teams, like that they're grouped with, they're the only ones that haven't made it to a World Series or playoffs
Really?
for that matter. Oh yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, last like decade and a half, like there's like a list of teams that have spent a certain amount of money, and like they're the only ones that haven't either made the playoffs or even visited the World Series. Like every team has made it. And it's just like, dude, like.
Here's a burning question, tough question. What Star Wars character would you least, and this has to be out of like spite. It can't be because of like their size or anything like that. Who would you least want to sit next to on like an 8-hour flight?
Seer Junda. Seer Junda, easily.
I think for me, man,
I'd sit next to Jabba than Seer Junda.
Probably like, well, if you're sitting next to Jabba, you're sitting in first class. You're on a private jet.
I'll sit on Jabba, then sit next to Seer Junda.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, all sweating
like,
gross.
How the heck am I on Jabba the Hutt's recording a vlog? Here I am, Jabba the Hutt's private jet.
Hey guys, check out my beanbag. It's actually not a beanbag, but nah, dude, I just don't like Seer. I just don't like her at all.
I understand the appeal to Seer, but she always felt like I always felt like she should have turned to the dark side and stayed there.
I just don't like her character at all.
Yeah. I think her arc was a bit
shitty redemption arc, which somehow made her character even worse.
Yeah.
And just all around just fucked up a lot of pretty common sense decisions in terms of being a Jedi Master or whatever she was.
So the thing that I had a problem with Survivor.
Easiest way to compare Seer, and this is like not being like mean at all. I think the easiest way to compare Seer is like she's just one of those people that you're just a bad teacher. She's one of those teachers you've had in school where you're just like, no matter what they do, no matter how hard they try, they cannot teach you anything because they're just not meant to teach. They're not meant to teach.
You can't fault their effort though, you know, that's what they want to do.
No, but then it's like they keep trying and it's like they won't admit the problem as a root problem. It's like you're still trying to do something you shouldn't be doing, and then by the second game, Seer is a librarian of all Jedi knowledge. It's like, great, she's grand teacher now. It's like
the thing I didn't like about Survivor is that Cal, like, it's called Survivor, right? Master Cordova, why is he alive?
No, I thought he was dead.
Seer Junda, why is she alive? I think her dying to Vader, like, I think that the sacrifice trope just doesn't get used anymore. Like her sacrificing herself to save Cal against Vader.
That would have been fine. I've been like, okay, cool. I don't hate her as much. Yeah.
But then she just,
she did something useful.
I don't necessarily hate her, but just the handling of her character, the writing of it.
Also, I didn't. Okay, so
but
I like the first game, but I hate the way she's like. We have to get the Jedi holocron. Like she's so fixated on we have to get the holocron. I have to get the holocron. And what happens? Cal destroyed the holocron. It's like, oh my god, like
Cal, we needed that dude.
It's like, well, that or just like why go for it in the first place?
Mm-hmm. The whole game, that's what you're going after.
Yeah, and then at the very end, she's like, we need to destroy it. Just like,
we can't let it into the Empire's hands.
Again, just bad teacher. Bad teacher.
I'm getting into the habit of doing something that I hate. I don't want to meta talk about Star Wars or anything like that. I just want to talk about everything inside the universe, if that makes sense.
I don't follow.
Like, I don't want to talk about the writing or the directing. I just want to talk about, like, oh yeah, Luke Skywalker leaving his like, Luke Skywalker was offered a free ship of his choice, and he's stuck with the X-Wing that we always see him with. And I think that goes to just show brother's got loyalty and then some, you know?
Or he knows a little thing about branding.
That too.
It's like, hey, my dad had his ship, and everyone knew when my dad was coming to work. Everyone knew that's Vader's ship.
Yeah, Anakin
Everyone's got
blew
a
up
ship
the
in
Death
Star Wars.
Star.
Yeah, Anakin blew up the Death Star. Twice.
You know, like, that's... There could be a loose interpretation for that. Like, maybe...
Don't even.
No. Yeah, it's like a comedy thing. Maybe whoever was recording for the HoloNet News, you know, was like, why did Vader not intervene? Why did Vader run off like that? Why did Vader let it happen? Like, he smoked 2 X-Wings. Why didn't he kill the other one? So they put the blame on Vader. But no, like, you can't be in a Star Wars project and not know. Like, that, it'd be different, you know, if it was like...
Well, it'd be different if he said it once, because then people could say, like, oh, he probably misspoke. But he said it in 2 separate interviews.
It'd be different if he was like, oh yeah, Kanan helped Thrawn leave, or Kanan helped get rid of Thrawn. That would be completely different, but butchering Luke and Anakin...
And they also,
the very first movie's ending...
There's no good or evil in Star Wars, and I'm like,
yeah.
Beg to differ, but that's the whole point.
And that just goes back to what I was saying. They just need to be fans.
His co-hosts are trying to get his attention to stop talking, and they're literally telling him to stop. It's like, yeah, this is...
He's like, no, let me cook. I do enjoy the anticipation for... What do you think's going to get announced first? Because I haven't even looked at anything. I haven't looked at Best in Bulletin since we did our last podcast, which was a couple of months ago.
Announced for what?
Like the next series to come. I don't think...
I don't think I'm going to watch whatever comes out next.
Not even if it's the Gilroys writing Andor, bro? You didn't like Andor.
I mean, again, it's not that I didn't like it. I just never really... I didn't like it as much as everyone else. Like you said, I don't think it was bad. I've rewatched a couple episodes here and there, but I'm like, I'll probably watch Andor season 2.
Out of curiosity, what did you like about it?
Deidre.
She had a pretty cool character.
I like the ISB.
Mm-hmm.
I like the world building of Coruscant. I like the Mon Mothma stuff. Did not like Luthen. Did not like Saw. Didn't like Andor. Didn't like any of the Rebel stuff that much. I really like Cyril. So basically, all the stuff most people don't like about Andor is the stuff I liked. I don't know if I'm just different.
I wouldn't say don't like. I would say like underrated. You like the underrated stuff.
Yeah, I guess. Like, I'm not saying Andor is bad. I'm just like, I can't give it the A+ that everyone else was saying it was. I'm like, yeah, for me it was like a C+. It was passable.
C+?
Yeah.
What would make it an A?
I wasn't that.
In your mind, or what's an example of an A?
I wasn't a fan of the plot, man. I just wasn't. The plot was not like. It wasn't really like pulling me in. Like, there was no hook for me for the show. I think that was the problem. Now they were saying they wrote season 1 and 2
Mhm.
together, like part 1, part 2. I'm hoping that's true because I think that's the first time Disney's actually doing that. Because like there's so much miscommunication on the new trilogy where it's like nobody even talked about how 7, 8, 9 are going to connect. They'll film them one at a time.
I know they handed them to 3 different
So
writers.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling Andor season 2, as long as they said that they wrote both 1 and 2 at the same time, and it's all one story, like part 1, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think Andor season 2
Andor
will
was
be
solid. I agree.
I think it'll be very successful, and then it'll also make people appreciate season 1 a little bit more.
Cass DDS, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. We're just talking some sports.
In terms of other Star Wars projects,
Co-child?
no, I'm not really interested in anything else. I'm probably not going to watch any more Star Wars shows. I'll be honest, man.
What about
I was dead serious. I was dead serious when I said the only, and I think I said this on the pod like last year. The only thing I was looking forward to, and this is when everyone was all hyped for the acolytes, though, right? I said the only thing I was looking forward to was Bad Batch season 3. That was it. That's all I was looking forward to. Mm-hmm. And Bad Batch season 3, I think, did an amazing job. I don't think it hit on everything I wanted it to, but it hit on most of them.
What about I've been getting into a lot of history stuff right now, man. I've been watching a lot of history stuff. Currently kind of diving into I titled my stream this a couple of
like Star Wars history or what?
No, just like American Revolution.
Oh, okay.
And then kind of parlaying that into the French Revolution, because those two go hand in hand. If we didn't revolt, then France wouldn't have revolted, because someone just needed to see that it was possible. And I don't know, it's just cool. I really like historical fiction as well. I watched 1917. Fantastic movie, great film. I liked the way that it was shot and edited. Mm-hmm. And they made it seem like it was all one continuous shot, but that's just because of the amazing editing that they did. But also the great direction.
That ending sequence that they have is super long. Holy moly.
What was another one? I really want to watch Band of Brothers. Haven't seen it.
Awesome.
It's kind of like the one World War II movie that's evaded me that I've seen clips and shorts of. I want to rewatch Braveheart. I'll probably put that at the top of my list. Not just.
Have you watched The Emperor?
I don't think so.
It's a more of a drama than World War II, like a war film. It's the one about when we revisit Japan after we bombed it to rebuild the civilization.
Hacksaw Ridge, I might have seen.
That's the one with Vince Vaughn and Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield. That one's pretty good.
I think I saw that one.
It's the one about the guy that doesn't carry a weapon because he doesn't believe in killing. But The Emperor is a really good one. It's got Tommy Lee Jones. It's got Jack from Lost in it. It's a good drama. The movie does a good job at showing how we established our relations with Japan, because I mean, you can imagine they weren't very happy that we were there trying to help rebuild their civilization after we bombed the hell out of it.
What was another movie that I recently what was that bad boy called? It was... Did a freaking creeper just blow up or something? That's so weird. was it?
Don't know.
It was a... Ooh. Oh. It had Denzel Washington. It was a Civil War movie.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
About the Black Regiment.
Yep.
Great freaking flick.
That's one with Ferris Bueller in it, right?
That's the one, yeah.
I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's
Is
a good
it
one.
is it Glory? Is that what it was?
Glory, yes. Yeah, there you go. Yep. Glory.
Fantastic flick.
Mm-hmm.
Denzel
Yeah,
Washington
Denzel's
is
young in that movie too.
Yeah, I think he's like 32.
Well, I wouldn't say young, but I would say compared to what we're seeing him do now, because he's always, like, I would say last like couple decades, he's always looked old in everything he does. But yeah.
He's such a great actor. And even though he's Denzel Washington, like, you can still get very into his roles, into his movies. All while you know that's Denzel freaking Washington. Another guy who's like that, Ryan Gosling. I think he's one of the greatest actors that's doing like a very very varied roles. He's kind of taken that early 90s Brad Pitt role in Hollywood, where they're kind of just throwing him around, seeing where he sticks, and everything's worked for him so far. Supporting character, lead character. He's 35 in Glory. Okay, I was close. Who's Broderick? Is that Ferris Bueller?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it Matthew Broderick?
Mm-hmm.
What a guess.
Something like that.
Literally as soon as we get this to 100, we'll put a prediction out real quick. My missus did one for me yesterday, and I really enjoyed it, so we're gonna do another one as soon as I can figure out how to do it. Honey, are you on your laptop? Can you do a prediction for me? I want to set a over-under at like 35.5 diamonds, because we're going to hop down in the mines and we're going to clear a little mine shaft. But I don't see where to do a prediction at. All I can see is past predictions. I don't know if you guys... So yeah, Better Call Saul, it's been freaking solid, man. I want to say I'm like
Really good.
6 episodes deep in season 1.
Have you gotten to the episode where it's like a little skit in episode where he goes to some guy wants to put
5
a
minutes?
patent on his toilet?
Yeah.
He's
the
like,
horniest toilet.
this is for your son. This is for kids. Oh yeah, it gives you compliments when you poop. Oh, you're so big.
I need the whole load.
Yeah.
There are people like that just get blinded by the circumstance, you know?
Yeah, I know.
That don't realize.
You're like, what do you need the money for? Oh, I want to put a patent on it and start production. You could probably put that money to Send your kid to therapy.
Yeah. I hope you make millions. He's gonna need therapy.
Yeah.
Such a good actor, man. God, it's a great character. Can't wait to watch some more of it.
And they do such a good job at explaining like how it all like lines up, man. Like you'll see like you'll go by the place where it's like it's his shop from like Breaking Bad, and then when he wants to buy the place, but then it's like he doesn't have that giant Statue of Liberty, and that's a whole nother side quest on where he gets that
That's
from.
hilarious.
It's so cool.
Oh, we should be fine with what we got. I love this new little path. Let's go. See, I think that's a good little recipe too. You put the ending out, and then you can just do like little pseudo stories. Walking Dead, terrible execution.
Terrible.
By following that same pattern. But like Star Wars, they put the ending out before the like beginning of the story.
So one thing I'll talk about Better Call Saul, and I want to compare Better Call Saul to Bad Batch. What had me so invested in that show, in both shows, was like, and Bad Batch especially, because Bad Batch had something that Disney has not had in any of their shows, out of anything that they made. And I think I mentioned this before on the podcast with you, but like there's real stakes involved. Like you look at the any show that Star Wars has put out, we know where everyone ends up.
Except the Ahsoka.
We know she dies.
Everyone dies.
No, we know, it's confirmed. We know she dies because you hear her voice in episode 9. But what I'm saying is, they're not going to kill her off in, well, if the show's called Ahsoka. So, you know, main character, yeah, they're not going to kill off a character where the character's literally in the title. So, Ahsoka wasn't really worried. Never felt like she was ever endangered. Main character, got the plot armor. Mandalorian, why would they kill him off? I don't know why. Grogu, they're gonna kill him? No.
Hell,
Gideon is like Team Rocket. Basically, keeps coming back in the last episode of every season of every show. So I mean,
what's Team
probably
Rocket?
gonna come back again from like Pokemon. You know, it's like he's a clown. I can't take him seriously. It's like, you know, because they always showed up at the end of every episode of Pokemon. Like they're the villains. They're trying to, yeah, they fight him every time. It's like comic book villain. Not even comic book villain, cartoon villain.
Okay.
So all these characters, Book of Boba Fett, never felt like Boba Fett was ever any endangered. Anyways, the point I'm trying to make, there's a lot of characters in Better Call Saul that are not in Breaking Bad, which means you don't know how their story's going to end. When they're in danger, you're like, I don't know what's going to happen to them because they don't show up later.
Right.
Bad Batch was the same way. Bad Batch was the only Star Wars show that they did where, like, I legit, like, it wasn't because it's the season finale of the last season. There was a couple of times where I'm like, dude, this character's dead. This character's might die. And does not to spoil it for others, but they actually do kill one of them off. And you know the funniest part was, the entire community was in denial about it. Like, no, he's gonna come back.
They
it's like,
never
dude,
killed them off.
Have we gotten so soft as a fan base now where we're just like, no, they'll bring people back because that's what we're used to. Like, we're just used to everyone coming back. It's like, no, he died. Did he have a glorious death? No. That's not how death is. Like, sometimes you just die because you're in a shitty situation and you have no options. That's just what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that death wasn't spectacular. I mean, yeah, it was a sacrifice, but I mean, like, it wasn't like a...
He didn't have to die, which is...
No, he didn't have to. He was in a shitty situation and he died.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this show so much, is because it's like, dude, it's like what I'm used to and like good writing. And like I said, because we don't know what happens to any of the characters, dude, I wasn't sure who was going to survive the show. Like,
yeah, we love Bad Batch.
So, yeah, like I said, Better Call Saul, Bad Batch, when there's stakes involved with these characters, like obviously Jimmy, he's in Breaking Bad. He's not gonna die.
Chuck.
He's also the main character.
Oh man, that was okay. That's what was slipping my mind. Chuck. They write mental illness so good.
Oh yeah, his whole electricity thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait how that turns out, man. That's
the example that was like, oh, okay, this guy's just different gravy, was when he was crossing the street to get the newspaper, and like you hear the tinnitus, you hear like the high pitch squeaks.
Yeah.
Oh, we got diamonds already. And then it pans to like the elderly lady's point of view, where it's just silence.
Yeah.
And that's just, it shows like everyone has their own perspective, and there's 8 billion perspectives in this world, and you'll truly never be able to understand anyone else's. And I feel like that scene captured that beautifully.
Yeah, just wait how that arc pans out, man. Oof. That's a rough one to get through. Not like bad writing, but just like it's not pleasant. But yeah, Bad Batch, solid job, man. Like solid job. Like I knew they weren't gonna kill Omega. There was times I thought maybe Omega's gonna like sacrifice herself, but I was like, dude, like I don't think Disney's got the balls to kill off a child, even though the child's killing people. But yeah, Bad Batch, great show, best shows Disney's put out, in my opinion.
Hey man, you know, I loved
like
Andor, but
when Andor ended up in prison, I was like, all right, cool. But actually, that was my favorite part about the Andor show, was the prison stuff, the Imperial summer camp. I really liked that. I thought it was really cool, and I was like, yeah.
You know what that really was? That was just bro was trying to strengthen up his resume when he went to apply for the rebellion. He's like, look guys, I led a rebellion to break out of prison. I've got the work experience, hire me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're like, shit, this guy's got the gravy.
Yeah, the prison stuff was probably my favorite part of the show. But I was like, yeah, I know he's gonna break out because, like I said, I know he's an Andor. I know how his story ends. Going back to my point of like everything they put out, it's like we all know how these characters' stories pan out. So it's like there's no threat. Like the whole Obi-Wan and Vader thing, I was like, dude, like we know they're not gonna kill each other. Like,
that was a that for what they could have done.
It was cool to see, but I'm like, am I really gonna believe that Kenobi's gonna die by a bunch of rocks on him? Like,
I don't need to be visually appealed to either, you know.
Yeah.
I need,
and I feel like that's what they lean on.
Yeah. And that's ever since The Last Jedi. Like The Last Jedi is called, the most beautiful Star Wars movie. Sure.
I don't know about that.
But what does it do? What does it add? Did it detract?
Yeah.
Yes. So what are we really talking about?
Yeah.
I'm writing a whole book just because of The Last Jedi, you know?
Yeah, there's not a single character I've like made a connection with that Disney has put out in any of their TV shows other than like the Bad Batch. And the thing with the Bad Batch too is like the Bad Batch is Star Wars at its core, man.
What about Clone Wars?
I can't give Disney credit for that.
Or Rebels?
I can't. Well, Rebels. Okay, so Rebels was interesting because Rebels was when Disney first bought it.
Mm-hmm.
But Rebels was still made by the same Clone Wars crew, and this had like no Kathleen Kennedy.
Wasn't Rebels Dave
fingerprints.
Filoni's like first solo project?
I believe so, because Dave Filoni worked on Clone Wars with Lucas.
Yeah.
But then when Lucas sold it to Disney, they pretty much kept their Clone Wars team the same. It's just Lucas didn't go with them, so it was just Filoni by himself. So I honestly don't even want to give Disney credit for Rebels because, like I said, Disney had almost no involvement at all. It was just kind of like a, hey guys, new company, new desk, office chairs, new pens, but you guys are still doing the same job.
New business cards, yeah.
Yeah, new business cards. That's literally what it was, because there was no Kathleen Kennedy involved at all in Rebels. But Bad Batch at its core, and even Rebels at its core, it's Star Wars. It's like, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Bad Batch and Rebels are Star Wars at its core, and Star Wars is all about family drama. That's what it's always been about. Lucas has said it many times. It's just family drama. It's a space drama, a space soap opera. You know, you look at Bad Batch, dude. You can't get any more dramatic than that in terms of like family drama. Like, you have half the family or part of your family wants to kill the others, and just Rebels, same thing. It's like this family that, you know, lives on a ship with each other.
That's why I felt like it was a kick in the balls too.
What was
the things that they do in Acolyte, because Star Wars at its core is designed to give kids hope. What is so hopeful?
Yeah, it was designed for kids. Exactly.
Yeah, it's made for 11-year-old boys.
I don't know, man. I mean,
what in the Acolyte is, and I don't know. My goal for my book, my YouTube videos, I want, whether you're a fan of Minecraft, fan of Star Wars, fan of baseball, just want you to have something there, man. I want you to have something that you can connect with, have something to look forward to. It just
bugs me that like Bad Batch did not get the audience it deserved, in my opinion. It didn't get the reviews it deserved, in my opinion. I don't think it also. I think it should have gotten. I think it's a show that will, kind of like Clone Wars. I think it's a show that will have very long legs and a second life, like 5-10 years from now. Because I remember when Clone Wars first came out, not everyone was into it. It was like either a hardcore Star Wars fan or you didn't really care for it, didn't really watch it, but then, you know, it went onto a streaming service and everyone fell in love with it all over again.
Yeah, and I think
Bad Batch is going to have a second wave of people, you know, giving that show a shot, because it really, unfortunately, the first 2 seasons, oh god, you can cut them in half and you still wouldn't have a full season. There's so much filler in the first 2 seasons, it's terrible. There was a lot of miscommunication with the writing, from what I've heard and, you know, information I've gathered.
And then the strike happened.
And the season 2 got delayed by like a whole year. Season 3 got delayed by like 2 or 3 years. So there was a lot of behind the scenes drama. Again, a lot of that goes back to Disney.
Yeah, and that's why
season three though was very well done. Season 3 was really good. I think maybe only 20% filler compared to the 50%. So I really appreciated that. And they actually had a very long season finale. They shocked me, over an hour long.
And it was solid too.
Super solid, man. Great. And the other thing too, and Disney has this habit of, especially with Marvel, they have to make it where everything is a end of the world scenario. You know, they have to make it where, like, every show, it's like, if the main character doesn't defeat the villain, then the world ends. The Bad Batch was just like,
hell yeah.
They just want to survive. They're just trying to survive. It's such a grounded episode, you know, such a grounded show where it's like, they're not trying to save the Republic. They're not trying to start the rebellion. They're just trying to survive. They're literally a family that's on the run. That's all
I like that in season 3 they had a purpose. They wanted to free clones.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, Megan. Welcome in. Talking Star Wars? Yes. Me and Banjo, we usually talk about either sports or Star Wars or happenings in life. Wow, we had 2 amethysts, little thingies in one shaft is crazy.
It's a lot.
That's crazy. But I like that they had a purpose, you know, freeing the clones.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I did not like the fact that they're trying to connect it with the the sequel trilogy, the whole Snoke thing. I was like, yeah, but
I
you
don't
know,
mind it. I
it
like
was a
I
little
like
part. It was
adding
just a little
lore
part.
because you know that stuff happens. If they can do it in a cool way, why not?
That's true. That's true.
Like at least they're not just, oh yeah, Hemlock was in a lab and Eureka. You know, the fact that they're sampling on clones. Like, where were the clones after the war? Now we know where they were. They were prisoners.
Well, I mean, it did. Like I said, like it does a good job. The show does a good job at like adding to the movies because like I can't look at Camino the same anymore ever since Bad
It's
Batch.
so depressing.
It's like, dude, this is not just like a. This is not just a cloning facility for the, you know, the Grand Army of the Republic. No, we're also creating slaves to be tested on
Hmm.
secretly.
And
It's
that
like,
was his
dude,
ultimate end goal. Like,
and literally Obi-Wan walking gives me like these really eerie vibes now. When he's talking to Conway and Lama Su about, you know, the tour to Camino, whatever, the tour of the facility. I'm like, dude, you are in the belly of the beast right now and you don't even know it.
no. But the whole time, he kind of knows it because he sensed something elusive. That was the first line in The Phantom Menace. So it's just that is cinema, man. It's all tied together.
Yeah, Bad Batch does a good job at it.
Dave Filoni does a great job at it. When he is allowed to cook.
I don't know who was involved on that show so much. I don't know if it was Dave, because like I heard Dave wasn't involved in the Bad Batch so much because he was like, because remember, like I said, season 2 got delayed by like a whole year. Season 2 had like 4 different release dates. It was just bizarre, and then they redid like almost all of season 3. What I heard. That
Anything
got delayed by, like,
I know,
years.
anything involving Omega or Ahsoka, nobody is allowed to write besides Dave.
That may be, but I heard he was taking a back seat on
To
Bad
write
Batch because they were
Ahsoka.
telling him to they're like, oh, we need you on Ahsoka, or oh, we need you on Mando season 3,
Yeah.
like more live action projects, which really sucks. So that just shows that like, well, we don't believe in your animation, even though that's honestly like,
That's your bread and butter. That's the best shit
yeah,
we
that's
got.
what you're good at.
Like, hey,
I mean, you
sorry, you're good at painting.
You know what the animation was before he did Clone Wars, right? That he worked on.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, arguably one of the biggest animations of all time.
Yeah, and it's like telling a painter to start sculpting.
Yes.
Which some could, but when you're a really good painter, give that man an easel, not a chisel, you know? You need, and that I think just goes to, it just goes to show, like, if you're in a good place, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this, like, when you're in a spot that actively is good for you and helps cultivate your gifts and puts you in a place that you're confident, comfortable, like, you're gonna do your best work. But I think that just speaks on good and bad man management.
Well, I can tell you right now, I don't think
soccer,
I would rate a single Star Wars live action show over any of the animations. I think all the animations are the better
Ooh.
shows.
Accidentally found some more diamond. It's hard. Andor for me was a perfect season 1 of a show. Even Ahsoka, I felt like was great as a season 1, because I know it's a part to a whole, And I know you weren't a big fan of it.
Nothing happened. We literally traded places with the enemy.
Enemy's back though.
Enemy's back and Ahsoka's gone.
I want to see what happens, man, because that is the Emperor. It is now Emperor Thrawn. He was the heir to the Empire. Bro is gonna bring the Empire back. I think that in and of itself is like, a good season 1 sets the table for what's to come, and I feel like we've gotten accustomed to kind of giving a grade to something that we're only reading the first chapter.
Well, I think if you're going to compare to animation to live action, live action is obviously more expensive. So if it's more expensive, I can tell you right now, Ahsoka season 1, I feel like the amount of stuff that happened in that show happened at breakneck speed. Like,
yeah.
Just way too fast, in my opinion. Like, it was just like everything was happening all at once. And I think the reason for that is, like I said, live action's more expensive, so they're not going to be wasting time on letting things sit and age very well. Like look at Clone Wars season 1. That doesn't set up for anything. Clone Wars season 2 doesn't set up for anything. Like, it doesn't start to actually get you don't really start to invest in it until seasons 3 or 4. But it's animation, so I mean, you can take all the time you want. You can change stuff later if you want. But with live action, I feel like it's just too expensive that they can't waste time.
You know what I loved about the Bad Batch? The animation, man. Like the water physics.
Oh, dude, so good.
I remember me and you were pogging off about that. And we were like, it was just like a river flowing.
Yeah.
Or the episode with Asajj when they're in the ocean.
Yeah, dude, that water physics
said
crazy.
Yeah, the water is just impeccable. And water is like the one thing that people outside of the new Unreal Engine have just never been able to do. Yep. I really want to see the new Unreal Engine get utilized, man. Whether it's video games, like, I don't even know. Oh, my bad. Again, I can't. I showed you yesterday. I can't really see redemptions on this one. Let me go get a bottle of water. BRB. I finished this one. So I went on my first ever hike, and upchucked a lot.
Ow. Oh, it's been hot lately. It's been hot.
I drank a lot of water, and before the hike, I drank two bottles of water. So
Okay.
about
32 ounces.
yeah, 34 ounces, give or take. And that was just sitting in my gut. You know, it was it was about a 5-6 mile hike. Halfway up, I need to stop. Need to take a break because I'm getting like lightheaded, and I end up upchucking.
Wow.
Nice and easy though. It was just water that came up, and then I was great. I was good. When I got to the peak, drank a little bit, and then when I got all the way back down, replaced what I sweated out with Gatorade, and I was good.
Gatorade.
Felt great.
Yeah, when I go on my
It was my first ever hike.
I only call it a hike. I just say it's a hike. It's really a walk. But when like I go on like my 10-mile walks, I always bring my water with me. And I take like I usually take a drink like usually for the first few miles I don't drink anything, and then I just try to drink like a little bit every mile, every half mile.
Yeah, what I was doing is what I used to do.
If I notice I'm like
during...
almost done with my walk, if I notice I'm over halfway done my walk and I haven't drank much, I force myself to drink a lot. Like the goal is to come back with no water.
Mm-hmm. I started doing what I used to do in soccer and football and basketball, where if I was playing, I wouldn't drink anything, but I would like get water in my mouth so I wasn't just cotton mouthed, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that helped me going back down the mountain. Like, it was super easy at that point, because that's what was just getting to me. It was just having cotton mouth. But it was, no doubt about it, the hardest thing physically that I've ever done. And I've played sports at an extremely high level. Practice sports, you know, done 2-a-days, 3-a-days, hot summer sun. But that hike was so tough. It was nuts. And it was a pretty tough hike to be fair. Like, it was a 3 out of 4 stars in difficulty, so I was like, oh, it shouldn't be too bad. It was tough. You didn't have to like climb anything, but it was getting pretty steep at certain points, and the trail got super narrow, and at one, like, there was one instance where I slipped a little bit, and yeah, it was kind of spooky. I had a walking stick though for that reason. I told my girlfriend that, and she just kept making old man jokes, because that's kind of it's a running joke that we have, that I'm an old man because I always have like back problems or my legs are sore or something. But no, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. Me and nature, we've been getting along recently. I'm guessing out in, I know you live in like the inner city of LA. I'm guessing your walks are like concrete.
So there's a park about a mile from my house, and what I do is I walk to the park on the horse trail,
Mm-hmm.
and then when I get to the park, I go out on a little bit of concrete to get to the second level of the park,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a half mile, or it's not half, it's like 0.6 of a mile track that goes all the way around the park, like around the baseball fields, around the gazebos, around the jungle gym, the kids area, and I just walk like 10 to 15 laps. So if I want to do 7.5 miles, that's usually my average. 7.5 is 10 laps, and then if I want to really really push myself to do the 10 miles, I have to do 15 laps around the park. But I just go to the park, do my laps. It's a dirt trail that goes around the park. I love it because usually when I go there, there's nobody there anyways, and even when there is people there, there's barely anybody at all. And then I walk back home. So not a lot of concrete. The only concrete is like when I'm walking through my neighborhood before I hit the horse trail, which is like, I don't know, like not even a quarter mile of concrete I have to walk on.
I got lost at a certain point. So I hopped on the Trails app and just had to cross a road to get back onto the trail. Thank God. Well, there's an outhouse, so I stopped and washed my hands off. Because I had this really cool walking stick, but it was just covered in like dried moss. But no, it was really cool. Nice cheeky little views. Nice really tall trees, evergreens. It was dope. Oh, hello.
That's cool.
Oh, you guys can't see anything because it's so freaking dark. Hold up. Bink. You got any summer plans?
Find a job.
Yeah.
I had an offer the other day, but I was in the hospital, so I couldn't say anything. But it was for working at a casino, graveyard shift, 6:30 to 2:30, and I was like, yeah, probably not gonna like that anyways.
No, that's just like unlivable in my opinion. Just because you can't do anything before, you really can't do anything after.
No, I have to go to bed at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah. That's just too tough. That's why, like, my night shifts that I work, like,
I'm looking for a 9 to 5.
Man. Yeah, me too. 9 to 5 salary is what I'm looking for. But I'm currently in negotiations with still interviewing.
Oh yeah, how did your interview go Tuesday?
Real good. They really liked me. I have to do like one more and talk to the person that I'd be working with.
Oh, well, if you're getting a third one, you probably already got it then, man.
I hope so, man. I just want to do it, you know? Like I really want this job. Because it's out of my comfort zone too, you know, and just want to put like challenge myself.
I don't know. It sounds like it's right up your wheelhouse.
Oh, it is completely, but like, just never been I guess I have. I'm kind of in a sales position right now as a server, but never been like in a sales position. So
everything is sales though, man.
Yeah, it's true.
Everything is sales. You're selling yourself. You're trying to sell your book, your ideas. Everything is sales.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't look at it as like the scummy sales perspective. Like everything is sales. Like you just gotta learn what like, because I thought the same way, and I'm like, dude, like, I think what makes the best salesmen are not the scummy guys that like rip people off. It's the people that understand what their customers' needs are, and they meet their needs every single time, and then they build that trust. Then it doesn't feel like sales anymore. And then it's just like, hey, tell me what you need and I'll get it for you.
Yeah.
And they just give you the money.
No, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah, don't do a sales job if you hate the sales. Just turn the sales aspect into like a customer relationship perspective.
Sage advice from Banjeel. And that's the thing with a sales position too. People are always looking for that product, you know, or else there wouldn't be a position for it.
Yep.
So I totally get that. And in this case, it's like, all right.
And the thing is, you want to be that guy that can sell them that product, because you know that you're not going to be the one that's going to pull the wool over their eyes. You're gonna be the one that's, you know, you're not gonna force them to buy if they don't want to buy it. You want to make sure that you understand their needs, and you can reassure them that this will take care of their needs or what they need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm just so fed up with just the weird, I don't know, manipulation culture that's involved in business these days, and even like just with people. Everyone's always trying to get something out of somebody.
Yeah.
It just sucks.
Yep. Well, like I said, you could be the guy that the one thing you want to go after is building a respected clientele and build trust, and you build a relationship instead of saying, you know, I want to just make the sale and go to the next one.
Yep.
Because I've always looked at those, like, if I ever got a position like that, I'm like, I feel like the first couple times you make a sale for a new customer, you are kind of just making the sale because it is your first time with them. But once they're a repeat customer, it's just like, hey, like, what do you need this time? Or what didn't you like about it last time? Because if they're a repeat customer, obviously they're buying from you again. You don't have to go down that road with them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You just got to say, hey, what do you need? This is what I got.
Who's Old Bean?
Old Bean.
You mean Old Ben?
It's a big bean.
You must have the Soteeko channel lore a little mixed up. So there's Old Ben, and then there's Bean Solo.
Bean Quadranero.
Named after Ben Quadranero.
His name is Bean Quadranero.
Is it Ezra that's got the Ben Quadranero poster?
Was he really?
I think so.
Shut up. Where?
Look up Ezra.
Oh, no way.
Ben Quadranero poster. I think it's in his bedroom. I think it's Ezra.
No, he does. He has a poster of Ben Quadranero versus Sebulba in his bedroom. That's crazy.
I probably did.
I think, you know what? I think I saw that too when it first came out. Yeah, I think I saw it because I remember I would pause and look at all the posters. Dude, that's when you know Kathleen Kennedy was not involved, because there was a lot of pretty hot Twilight posters posted up in like Kanan's bed and Zeb's bed. I'm just like, yeah, Disney saw that, they'd be like, no.
And like the Twi'lek pinups and like
all the pinups, yeah.
Clone cadet bedrooms and stuff.
Yeah, man. That's, I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you, like, I don't give Disney credit for Rebels because they didn't do anything. They were still establishing how the hell they're even going to run Star Wars.
If you bet on the over, we did hit the over. We're at 43 diamonds. We have 420 blocks to go. Probably do at least another, but I'm not like, I'm not gonna get greedy. We just got 43 diamonds. We did one of these 500 and got 0. So oh yeah, I would have bet the house on the over. I bet if you asked Miss Kennedy, hey, who is Ben Quadraneros? She'd be like, is that guy in the mailroom?
No, she'd probably know. She'd probably know. It's like, I feel like Kathleen Kennedy's got a very, very in-depth knowledge of the Star Wars Index. It's just, I just don't know what she's doing. I just don't know why she makes the decisions she does. The whole Force is female thing, man.
Is Bob Iger still in charge?
Oh god, what a whole clown show that is. Yeah, he is. So he left, wrote a whole book about how like Disney bombed Star Wars. Then they brought him back because the other Bob fucked up so much. So, but they hired Bob as a contingent of, we're gonna hire you temporarily for 2.5 years so you can train the next CEO to run the company. And dude, so far there hasn't been a peep if they found him, if found anybody or not.
I'll do it.
Yeah, dude. You know, and the funny thing is too is I think they're even paying him like double of what his salary was from before he quit. Just like he quit, wasn't even gone for a full year. They rehired him for 2.5 years, and he's getting paid. He's making more money. I'm just like,
say they hired you, like say they posted on LinkedIn, you saw it, you applied for shits and gigs, they bring you in and they give it to you. What do you do? Number like first order of business.
I would take a book, I would take a page out of the newly president of Argentina and maybe a page out of Trump's book, and I would start cleaning house. I would start cleaning house and firing a lot of people, high-end positions that we don't need anymore. Because a lot of this stuff, it starts at the top. You can implement changes all you want in structure. It always starts on the top. So I would cut house. I'd probably be very ruthless and get rid of a lot of people that have been there for a very long time and probably don't need to be. Offer them a different position, and if they don't want it, give them a generous severance package and be like, goodbye.
I think I'd do what Lincoln did and just go around and talk to my employees, go around and talk to people and see what they have insight in, see what they're passionate about. Because similarly to how we were talking about Dave, you know, being so good at animation, what if these people that are in charge with, you know, writing about live action, what if they just don't give a fuck about Mando, you know?
I just don't think they're good at live writing at all. Like, what other than Andor, where's any of the good Star Wars writing?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, what if they're just not?
It's not that I don't care. I just don't think these people are capable. But the thing is, these people have been there for so long that's like I said, like we need clear outs, and that's the thing. If you wanna draw attention,
what if there's someone in there that just loves the old Republic but hasn't gotten that chance, you know? And maybe they've been wanting to.
It sucks. That sucks. It sucks. But you know what? Disney doesn't get any excuses. They've had Star Wars for how long? They've owned it for over a decade. And they've put out how many shows and movies, and so far most of them, if not all of them, have been very crap. Especially live action. My god, live action, just terrible.
Yeah, that's why we're in charge now, though. And that's what I'm saying.
So that's what I'm saying. If I want to, that's the thing is I'm not trying to make the the reason I clear house is I think it solves two things. I'm not trying to make the content better as a priority. I'm also trying to heal the brand.
Yeah.
So I think when you start cutting people,
but how do you vet that?
What do you mean?
How do you know who you're gonna cut? Like you can't just.
I don't know. I mean, I would go in there.
I think that's why I'd go around talking to people.
I wouldn't waste my time talking to people because, like I said, if I would go for the higher ups, and I would, like I said, offer them a different position, a lower position, and they'd probably say no, I don't want to work that. Then I would just offer them a generous severance package and be like, that's that. You'll be
Yeah.
upset either way, but here's the thing, like, they've also upset a lot of people, a lot of fans. So I mean, there's been wrongdoings on both sides. Like I said, I go through my vetting process. I get rid of a lot of people, cut a lot of staff.
So you'd start.
What that does is two things. It enables new people, a new shot, new chance of new writers coming in. Hopefully, I could, somewhat have a say in who gets the positions.
Do you send a flyer over to Gilligan's Island?
And then the other thing that this does is, by getting rid of so many of these big department heads, is it brings a spotlight over to Star Wars. It brings us like the news, the media, PR, like all that stuff. Like it will generate traction. So like, hey, there's change coming. Whether the change is good or bad, change is coming, and that's, I think, something that Star Wars fans have been desperate for a long time. I don't know a quicker way to do that other than by firing a bunch of people, at least at the corporate level. What would you do other than talk to people?
I do like your scheme of going around and starting a healing campaign. I do like that. But I think I just go like everyone that's still at Lucasfilm, because that's what matters, the people that are there. I'd go and talk to the people at ILM, see who's worked on what. I would do my research. I'd check credits. Who wrote this episode of Mando?
I'm not talking ILM. Like, I don't think ILM is to blame for anything. They don't do much of the writing.
No, like I would just go and talk to them, see what ideas they had, see how I could cultivate that, see what they want to try, see what they're good at, see what they feel comfortable with. But with like Mando, who directed, who wrote, who produced season 3, like the Lizzo episode.
I don't think you can get that diplomatic about it, though. I think that's a slippery slope, in my opinion. Because then it looks like you're not the one making the decision.
As opposed to what?
Like, you going in with a plan and saying, I'm firing you because I want to fire you. It's my plan. We're sticking to a plan and a goal. I get the whole Lincoln approach to it, but I'm like, I think the Lincoln approach is too passive to the point where it looks like it's kind of like what they're doing right now. I mean, I feel like that's the approach that got us this mess. They all went around and talked to each other like, hey, what do we need in Star Wars? Or hey, what do you think about having another female lead? Or hey, like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I could totally picture Kathleen and all these writers pitching these ideas, especially about the Acolyte. It's like,
I'd go around and I'd find my best writers, the ones that I could rely on, and just ask them, like, what do you love about Star Wars? What time period do you think you would? And this is what I would do, because you know how, like, in Star Wars, like in the Jedi Order, there's clans. And it's usually centered around, and these are for like the younglings and initiates, combat heavy clans, force power heavy clans, stuff like that. Where do you see yourself? What lore, what stories do you think that you would be most successful writing on? And what would make you happiest? And
why are you asking that to your writers, though?
I feel like
you're doing what they're doing right now.
No, I feel like they're not doing that. I feel like they're giving them directives, And it's stuff that they don't want to write.
You telling me the person that wrote the Acolyte did not want to write the Acolyte and specifically write it the way they wrote it?
No, I mean Dave wanted nothing to do with Mando. And Bryce Dallas Howard wanted nothing to do with Mando. And what's that idiot's name? The one that
I don't know. I think
didn't know
you
Natalie
gotta have a
Portman.
direction.
Oh, I do have my direction.
I think you have to be like, this is what we're doing, and I need you to do this. This is like we're all on the same train. We're not going to be like, what do you want to do as opposed to what do you not want to do? Because I think I like the freedom that you're talking about, but the problem is you put someone on a project because hey, I wanted like I feel like this is what happened with the movies. You put someone on a project that they want to do, okay? And all of a sudden, we're committed to this project because you told me you can do this. This is what you're good at. But then if you back out of it, now I got to find someone to do this project that you were supposed to do. And guess what? This is a project you wanted to do. This other person may not be so much.
Yeah,
and
that's
now,
true.
that's where you get like a last Skywalker repeat, because that's kind of what happened with that, with the whole like, you know. Because Rian Johnson wasn't even the first director for that film or writer. It's just like...
What I'm trying to explain is less about seeing what they want and just seeing what they're a fan of, what they love. And then... Because I wouldn't put... Like... I wouldn't put the future of Star Wars in the hands of anybody else. I just wouldn't. I'd want that pressure. I'd want that responsibility. I would want to just see, hey, who's good at what? And if someone is really comfortable with the original trilogy, slap them in the OT team. If someone's really comfortable with the lore and the continuity of the Galactic Republic era, boom, they're in that team. And then I would seek out directors that I'd really want to see, like Denis Villeneuve, like Ridley Scott, and kind of just pitch ideas to them that I think that they would succeed through. Because again, this is just preliminaries too, but I think you need to start putting people in positions where they can succeed, and that includes the writers, that includes the talent. I wouldn't hire another A-list actor ever again, especially for like a cameo. And if they want to be a cameo, guess what? George Clooney went under a stormtrooper helmet.
Unless the only way I would go around that rule
is if they were perfect for the role.
The role was written for them specifically.
Yeah, but I get furious when I see people constantly saying, "Oh, Keanu Reeves needs to play Revan."
Sure.
I think Revan can be a nobody, because Revan was...
It's kind of hard when you see what Revan... have you seen all of Revan's cutscenes and everything from SWTOR?
No, I'm not there yet.
Okay. When you get there, you might change your mind. The whole Keanu Reeves thing, like he doesn't sound like him. His voice is much deeper, but like his mannerisms, the way he goes, like it's very Keanu-esque. And then he also looks like Keanu, so it's like that's why everyone's saying Keanu. It's like
I'd want to tell good stories.
Keanu's always playing
man.
those roles where he's always trying to be like the healing factor. He's always trying to like, you know, be the middleman of a conflict. He's always trying to be like the, you know, that middle portion, and that's kind of what Revan does a lot in SWTOR. Like he's not trying to fight the Jedi, he's not trying to fight the Sith, even though that's what he always does. But he's trying to just save the galaxy. That's his perspective.
I love Revan, man. That's why I'm I'd write Arassian Son of Darkness into canon. I'd write Revan, but I would change the story only slightly. Because I think it should be changed ever so slightly.
But yeah, like I said, I would just, if I was the new head of Star Wars, whatever, I'd fire a bunch of people and just, I would start pretty much over. You know, I wouldn't wreck anything from canon, obviously, but I would just try to start over as much as we possibly can.
I would too. That's the way you have to go, I feel.
You don't have to ruin canon. I mean, there's so many things that they can do right now that they're just not choosing to. That like, I'm like, the Imagineers is what Disney calls their writers and whatever. I'm like, dude, their imagination sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that we haven't gotten like a pod racing series, like, and you can throw that in any time period in Star Wars. You could have it called swoop biking or whatever in the Old Republic, pod racing, and prequels, whatever. A pod racing series would be sick. I mean, here's the thing: it doesn't have to be connected. You can have you can have like a cameo of like Boba Fett showing up or something like that, or something, just to like remind you that you're still in a Star Wars show. But like, dude, I think a pod racing series would be so dope.
Have people write against each other to see who the better writer is. It's always an option.
And the other thing I would do too, I wouldn't be afraid to go dark with the story.
With the right purpose.
No. Here's the thing. Disney is so far from considered dark storytelling. I would do stuff like Universal. They're not afraid. They're Universal. They're all about family friendly, but they are not afraid to be PG-13 in terms of horror. Okay, I'm not saying I'm gonna go full on like Bloodfest with Star Wars and like full on horror like nightmare stuff, but like, dude, like I just don't get it. Like, Disney does the same thing every time. Anytime something dark's coming out, they always hype it up. I'm like, bro, this is not dark, and it's not dark. And then if once they get like a second dark, they reel it back in.
I know.
They reel it back in so
Last Jedi,
quick.
I remember specifically, they were advertising it as the first, like, it was supposed to be a Star Wars horror film, kinda.
Dude, they said that about they're saying that about the Skeleton Crew, and I'm like, how is it gonna be a horror film when like half of your cast members are like 10-year-olds? Like, maybe a horror film for them. But I remember them saying that about The Last Jedi, yeah. Or anytime someone wants to be bad, like, I don't know, when I say dark storytelling, I'm not talking about like spooky, scary stuff.
No, I'm talking about
just
like Batman
villains.
stuff.
I'm talking about villains, bro. Like, look at Battlefront 2. You're playing a Special Forces, Secret Service, Imperial, and she defects after 2 missions.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, you can't tell me she grew up in the Empire. Her father's in the like an admiral. Like, all she knows is the Empire. She's loyal. After 2 missions, defects. Like, oh my god, man. Every villain that they care about ends up being a good guy in the end. And
that's all some people know how to write, though.
But that's my point. It's like, it's just like Kylo. I knew Kylo was gonna be good from the start, but that's a bad example because he's a well-written character. Just unfortunately, because the actor had to do a lot of the heavy lifting. Reva, I knew Reva was not gonna die a villain, man. They spent way too much time on her, but her redemption arc was so stupid.
Man, if you think Kylo's a well-written character, just wait for my book, bro. You're gonna be going from like a McDonald's apple pie to...
I don't like pie.
Exactly, you're going from a McDonald's apple pie to like a...
Don't say pie.
A nice, fresh out of the oven with the works baked potato, you know?
Okay.
Like, the intricacies. I'm flexing on it because it's like I'm super proud of what I'm writing right now.
Yeah.
Like, the reason why it's taken me 2 years, genuinely 2 years, to get through chapter 1 was just because I needed to make sure that my story was going to remain straight with what George wrote and honor those characters, all while
You're gonna have to go back and change Kiadi Mundi. You're gonna have to make a mold in your book now.
No, I don't even care. I don't care. My canon is 1 through 6, and everything that kind of affects 1 through 6, everything that plays off 1 through 6. And I'm just trying to make sense of and do right by Kylo Ren, Luke Skywalker, and their portrayals and the lack of love that they got in the tail end of the sequel trilogy. Like, it really irks me that they were just thrown to the wayside, man.
It all was.
Like, it was
So
nothing.
going back to what I was saying, I was like I said, Disney, they just pull their punches too much, man. Like, I don't get it, because they didn't do that with Marvel. Marvel didn't. I mean, they pulled some of their punches with Marvel, but like.
To be fair, though, Stan Lee was still very heavily involved.
Until he wasn't, and that's when it started going downhill.
Yeah.
But yes, that is true. When Stan Lee was involved, you know, yes, it was fine, because there was a lot of dark moments in Marvel. Like, well, not super dark, like, you know, darker than what we're getting now. Yeah, and once Stan Lee passed away, yeah, that's when all the woke kids came out. Star Wars, like, I don't know, I just feel like there's never been, other than Bad Batch, which I would love to praise everyone that worked on the Bad Batch show, especially season 3, but I'm like, man, it's the only show where I felt like there was some weight to the story, and there's some weight to like every moment, because it's like people are gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people aren't immortal, and really in trouble. Like, people are hurting.
Over under 1.5.
Who was going to survive the last like 3 or 4 episodes? I was like, dude, they're all going to die, man. I think they're all dead. Like, honestly, like, how is it we've only gotten those type of feelings for one show? Because I remember as a kid going in and watching a trilogy, I'd be like, oh man, there's no way this guy's gonna get killed off. It's the last one. They gotta kill people. Like, you're always thinking about that, right? And it's like, dude, nobody fucking dies, and if they do die, they don't stay dead. It's like, jeez. Which is why when you have that death in Bad Batch season 2, no one was able to cope with it, because they're like, yeah, everyone's so used to people coming back to life.
Oh man. Alrighty, chat. That is 3 hours. I think I should probably call her there. Real good time today. Real good time today. I appreciate all of you. We've had a real like consistent viewer base for this series, and that's really cool, and I appreciate you guys for doing so and coming through. So for my VIPs, my mods, my viewers, my lovely misses, and all the followers that we got in the stream, I appreciate you guys. And what is today? Sunday? We'll stream again. Maybe around afternoon time, so my girlfriend can watch, and I'll see you soon. I'm gonna get some sleep, gonna wake up and watch some football, because I believe there's some more Euros action going on. And yeah, Scotland plays at noon. Gotta watch that. There we go. Alrighty. I appreciate you all. I love you all. And with peace, knowledge, and serenity, may the force be with ya.